Hello, you guys. How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. Oh my goodness. First, let me say thank you and welcome to Debbie. Thank you for joining. And Evie, thank you for joining. I thought you had just joined like maybe last night or the night before, but thank you guys so much for supporting me. I appreciate it. How are you guys? Again, I'm out of breath starting the live as I run around crazy. Hey, Chasing, running around the house. Hey, Pretend Judge. Hey, Lil D. Hey, Neat. Flower Girl. Hey, Patricia. Oh, my. Thank you. All right, y'all. Listen, there has been so much to happen. There have been so many videos, so many interviews. I want you guys to see because I think I have absorbed so much of this. It's like messing with my ability. Hey, Angela, to process some of it. Hey, Pointer Lover. Hey, Hippie Chick. Hey, Humanimal. But look at this. These are the notes I've done and just today. Page after page after page after page after page. Oh, and that's it. I'm like just writing down, and I don't even know if we'll even go over half of this stuff. But there has been a lot to happen, and there's a few things I want to talk about. We're going to hop around from here to Christina's TikTok. Hey, Jinly, thank you for joining. Welcome. Hey, Teacup. Hey, Michelle. They are front and back. Yes. So, okay, let's see. I think we'll start with, some of the videos that have came out and talking about some of that. Actually, I'm going to turn this off so I can turn the lights on a little brighter so I can see my notes. So Awen Rees, she has, and I know I pronounced her name wrong the first time, and so I apologize for that, but she has put out several videos. They're really great videos, so I've linked her channel in the chat, and I don't want to play from her channel. I want you guys to go watch her and support her channel, but I do want to talk about some of the things that have came out through her in those videos. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I'll just start here. Awen has been a creator for a long time. Now, she hasn't been on the app recently for the last few years, but when the Lori Vallow case was just starting to happen, and, when the first rumblings of the children being missing, she and a friend of hers were covering the case. She was talking, this is before LawTube, because that's where Lori Hillis comes in, but we'll get there in a moment. But, so a friend of hers and her would cover the case, and they were paying very close attention, spending 18 hours a day researching stuff like that. Well, apparently she's checking the court website every day, looking for new documents to drop, and she checks the site and a document drops. Well, it happens to be a document that no one was supposed to see from when Lori had her mental health evaluations. Now, this document, according to Awen, was only up for a minute or two, and she had gotten it and downloaded it. And she didn't know what to do. She, because it had Lori's diagnosis, and she had thought, well, wait a minute, why are we even seeing this? So I'm going to reach out to some people I know and see, if this is even ethical to put out. So one of the people she reaches out to is a friend of hers, which she doesn't flat out say in her video, but with Lori Hillis. And she was an attorney that would come on and would, like I said, it was before LawTube, and she said, so when she had questions about something, that's who she would go to. So she went to her, and apparently she said, no, we shouldn't put this out. She also went to Mark Means. For those of you guys who don't know and are jumping in now, Mark Means he was Lori Vallow's attorney at one time, but he wasn't a death penalty qualified attorney, and I don't even think he had done a felony murder. It's been so long. He wasn't qualified, but he was there in the beginning. And this is one of the ways that they'll try to discredit, Awen, is by saying she was working for Mark Means, she was working for Lori Vallow because she kept an open line of communication with him. Well, she was reading through his filings every day. He also said, how'd you get this? And no, not ethical. Well, next thing you know, Hidden True Crime has, they have the scoop. And at the time, this case, this is what, like I said, these channels were built on this. She also checked with Justin Lum. At the time, if you think about it, a lot of these people were unknown, Nady and Justin Lum. And, ooh, we have a guest with us. Hello, Amber.
Hey, I'm just here for a little moral support before I got to start bedtime, but I wanted to hear everything and jump up because you sent the link. So,
Oh, awesome. Okay, well, you can just hang out and chat when you can. If you get, thank you for coming up. I just wanted to offer it. Which we're going to be on Amber's channel discussing this weekend, by the way, you guys. So, again, Hidden True Crime gets the scoop, okay? And this boosts their channel quite a lot. Another thing that she did to Awen was, Awen had got an interview with this person who was a member of a family that was like a big cult family. And she's all excited and she shares the link in this Facebook group. Hey, I'm doing this interview. And apparently, according to Awen, Lauren swoops right under the post. Wait a minute, I've already interviewed her. You can go to my channel here, and shares the link. So it was just like little underhanded digs and kind of stepping on people to get ahead, which we see that a lot. It's just part of it. They are, Debbie, the two channels that I'll be talking about are linked in the description. Hey, Fur Baby. Hey, Aussie True Crime. Hey, everyone coming in. As of today, I'm Team Awen. So, all right, let me see. Because I actually took notes about this, and I'm going to read it to you from my notes. She does say something, though, that Bendy has said regarding this, and it was kind of with great power comes great responsibility, or heavy is the head that wears the crown. Hey, Jen. Hey, Danya.
Hello.
What's wrong?
Were you not there?
I was.
Oh, Amber was.
No, I was not there at the end. I heard about it, but I wasn't.
You heard about it. Well, how did you hear about it?
Because someone in the chat was like, what happened to Jen's live?
Oh.
In this chat. So I heard about it in here.
Travels fast around.
I already fixed it. It's already edited out. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
I mean, here's the deal. That's the way that they sent it out. That's how the cops sent it. Nothing redacted. But I redacted it at the end. I didn't realize that those were in there. It's fixed now. All I can do is, fix it. And it's done.
Yes, she did post a video today. It looks like she's back to true crime, which, I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see what happens. I don't know if we're going to see some kind of lawsuit, or I don't know. It's kind of a wait and see situation. Hey, Jay. Good job, Jen Lou. Michelle said, yeah, I missed it. I was rushing over to my mom's. Had to carry all my equipment, my microphone, my laptop, all this stuff over here.
It's my fault for real, though. I should have checked it before I played it.
Okay. So let me, though, continue. And Jen, did you happen to catch, no, that's okay. But I was explaining Awen's videos and her story and how she ties into this. So she goes on to talk about, how it got worse from there. It started with little underhanded catty stuff. And according to her, it ended up with, doxing and threats. And she actually says at one point she had to move into a new home, quote, because your flying monkeys wanted to dox me, especially one in particular, which I'm sure you remember, unquote. So then she left the platform and decided, that this back and forth and the drama and that it's not worth it to me. I don't want to be a part of it. Instead of going back and forth, I'm out, which I can appreciate. I think that would be me. Instead of fighting it out back and forth, I would just be done with it. So
yeah, that's unfortunate to run her off of YouTube when her whole channel, she started with another girlfriend of hers who passed. So then she wanted to carry on the channel, in her friend's name and honor, and basically gets run off, according to her story, by Lauren and allegedly are flying monkeys who have been hitting me up on Twitter, which is fine. And Awen like reached out on Twitter and was like, sorry, the flying monkeys are attacking you. I was like, I'm good. Like there's nothing that they've already come on my comments and said that we're all jealous. So I'm just like, okay.
Oh God.
I don't know. It's just like
Hey,
everything
Andy.
that we've been going through, like you said, just keep it just the facts and the video footage. Like it tells a story in itself. Like you don't even need to bring up other things that have been brought up in a way, it's like it spells it right out, I think. And people from our past coming out and showing a pattern has also been something very key this week also, I think.
Oh yeah, me too. But I'm with you. And I think we might get into that more. Some of that is in my notes because there's some things I want to touch on, like the downsides to some of the things happening. But yeah, people from the past speaking out. It's been so much you can't keep up. And that kind of ties in with your comment, Natasha. She says, after all I've seen, I'm team no one, honestly. This has spiraled way too far. So many claims, such little evidence to back any of them. Even those I wanted to support are taking it too far, in my opinion. And while I don't necessarily agree 100% with you, I do agree with it has spiraled very far, and it has it's just became a lot. It's really hard to keep up. That's why today, like, I was trying to, with all the notes, and I'm like, okay, this is taking a turn, taking another turn, taking another turn.
And the thing is, like, we want to just get the facts out there. She showed this receipt. We saw that receipt. Like, that's what I think our objectives are versus other people's. But I think at this point, let's see it to the end of like us going through which is what I want Saturday, our discussion to be sort of like a continuance of what they have been like when we've been collabing, and just if I'm in chat or you guys are in my chat, vice versa. It's just been like very interesting just to see the body cam, honestly.
I know. I want to play that tonight because I haven't watched it in full. And I know Bendy played a lot of that, but just like to have it on my channel, and because I haven't watched it all, I'm going to play some.
It was interesting, Jen Lou's breakdown, I thought. And I was like almost saying things out loud, and then you'd say it, Jen, and I'm like, yeah, like, because what we're seeing, we're not imagining. Like, we're seeing these things, and chat is seeing the same things.
I'm sorry, you guys. I just needed a minute, I'm so pissed at myself. I cannot believe I did that. Anyway, let me move on from that.
Daggum truth.
Okay. So whenever the first time I saw the body cam footage was in Lauren's 9-hour live.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, it wasn't the whole thing. It was just parts of it. And seeing it all now from both sides. One of the things that irritated me it irritated me. Dr. John said that Christina had a flagrant and blatant disregard for a stalking injunction, for law and order, for the law. And we're watching her sit on that table, after being escorted with cops plus security over to that table. And she's asking all kinds of questions. And she said she went to the Aurora Police Department to find out about this. She looked up Utah law. And I don't think that is indicative of a flagrant disrespect or disregard for the law. And I'm like, that's what's irritating to me.
I'm really surprised by him in this, because I just wonder if this has gotten to a place where it became so emotional for them they couldn't really see, like he couldn't see things for what they were.
Mm-hmm.
Because to stand by and be okay with this, and also, their child getting brought up. I haven't touched on that too much, and I don't want to, but some of that stuff, I'm just really surprised by him in this.
I was surprised by some of his views, and some of the things that he said too. Like, I wasn't. I was surprised. Taken aback by many things that he said. And I mean, I don't know how you turn to somebody that you've been married to for as long as they've been married. Like I've been married for 30 years. Okay. And I cannot picture a scenario of a conversation where my husband would ever turn to me and say, "You've done nothing wrong." Okay. Like that fool would come with a list.
Yeah. Sometimes
but
I
that's
get
the way
annoyed because I'm like, whose side is he on?
You know,
Right.
that's yeah. My husband would be like, "Hey, okay, like this is what my husband would say. Remember that time you called her a bitch? Remember that time you made that vague book post on
But that's what
Facebook?"
you need, is that person
Exactly.
that's
My
willing to
husband
tell
would
you the
tell
way it
it.
is. Yes.
Yeah, agree.
Another thing that Awen said in some of her videos and stuff, and again, her channel's linked. I didn't want to play her stuff. I thought like people should go and listen to it in full. I just wanted to have conversation and kind of let like on key points from those videos. But she says, that Lauren has what she does. She said Lauren will isolate people by making them think that what they're going to do, and these are my words, or their negative impact on the family is going to be so great because of what they're doing. Like it makes them back off from each other and back off from, putting information out and things like that. Like it seems like there's a lot of manipulation, a lot of puppeteering and pulling strings and that kind of stuff happening, which, I mean, I'm surprised that none of this has came out before with a platform that large. But there were a couple points I wanted to touch on too that came up. CrimeCon. What do you guys think about it? Like, this is a part of the conversation now. I want to play some TikToks. There's so many things I want to explore with y'all. So, but CrimeCon is one thing I want to just bring up in conversation. What do you guys think about this? Like, it's, these victims and their families sort of become celebrities to some people. They can't wait to go and take pictures with them. And the tickets are very expensive. I mean, I remember Tess sent me a link when they posted the new ones and I was just blown away. There, I was like, oh, whoa, yeah, I can't spend that kind of money on that. It was a lot. So, people pay a lot of money to go. What do you guys think about that as a whole? And do you see any kind of problem? Which we're going to be seeing it on the body cam in a minute, but. And an interview also that Christina did, I grabbed from TikTok. Someone posted that she did at CrimeCon. I want to show y'all. But yeah, they sort of become celebrities. But I think the overall intent is a good one. Chasing, if you want to come up and join, let me know and I'll send you the link. I've loved going to CrimeCon.
I'll be right back, Kay.
Okay.
Let me just be right back.
Okay. I guess, what was the question about CrimeCon specifically? Because I was going to let Jen go first. But
overall, do you see a problem with the idea of it? A lot of people are talking that this is a problem. What are your thoughts on it overall? Because
overall,
for me,
I always thought, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, just to try to guide you to where I was like leading, I can see the good and the bad in it. Like, go ahead. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm on the same page. Like, I could see overall, I've always thought it looked like an awesome event to go to. Like, before I really got into the community, like, I guess I wouldn't even consider myself like really in the community, but when I was mostly a watcher of true crime, I always thought, oh, I'd love to go to one of these things. But then once I got into it and I realized how cliquey it really is, and not even with just other YouTubers, but they're like cliquey with mainstream media. And if like you don't have those connections, then I guess it's like you are just a viewer going. So it's it's a weird thing, because it's like I would love to go and be like, to see like the officers speak, because some of them have like officers that are retired or whatever that go there and speak the cases. Like that would be interesting. It would be interesting to hear like Gabby Petito's family go and speak about things, or Ethan Chapin's mom. Like, it's not that I would go just to see them, but I would be interested if I was like in the area and could buy a ticket. Like, I don't see myself ever flying and like being a part of one of these things now that everything's kind of unfolded, because it kind of just showed me that I don't know. It really, to me, seemed like a whole business trip for Lauren, and tied into the business trip was also her ulterior motives to silence somebody who might have said things to ruin her reputation at CrimeCon. Because, and help me understand too, if I'm getting this wrong, please let me know. It seemed like, from what I've seen also in this whole week, 3 days, or however long we've been kind of looking through stuff, like since we last spoke live, that she was feeling like outcasted by people and she didn't know why, like leading up to all this. Is that right?
Who?
Lauren was feeling like she was being like outcasted by people and like didn't understand why and was confused.
Well, I think the TikToks started coming, like she knew, she was seeing the TikToks, but they weren't naming her, but she had to know they were about her because they started in April. When was CrimeCon again? Wasn't that in the summer? I don't know the timeline of that. 1 second, let me see.
Okay, somebody in chat is saying that is what she said. Like when she was covering one of the last trials, Marshall Duff says definitely at Delphi. It was
okay. It was in September. What am I thinking?
Because like if I'm looking at this bigger picture, I'm starting to see like, okay, Jen Lu says September also. So it's like, I feel like
so it just happened. The TikToks were long before.
From CrimeCon to curb the rumors. Right. Like, so she went there as like a business trip, like, oh, let me make connections, but let me also find a way to manipulate the system and get my critic, who I'll just paint as like a stalker, even though it just drives me nuts. Like her conversation in the text where she's like, don't contact me. Oh, are you going to show up in my house? And then she's like, I'm like, sends her like a cease and desist, or like pretty much like threatening litigation against her. And then she says, what did she say? Like right after that was like, what the heck? Oh, she's like, you better not, like pretty much talking about their conversations staying private. And it's like, if I want somebody not to release our private conversations, like the last thing I'm going to do is like come at them the way she did. Like, I'm going to take you to court and like all this stuff. You know what I mean? It's just like her approach. And like, to me, she just seems so not in this reality. I don't know.
Oh, no, I definitely can agree with you on that. She does. But I think, is this from, I'm not saying it's like mental illness or something. It could be a lifetime of getting your way and not being told no and being able to manipulate people. And sometimes, and we've talked about this in depth with Letitia, people that are super manipulative, they think they're so good at it. But in all honesty, they're actually not. But what it is people are, they don't want to deal with them. So when they start the bullshit, they'll just give in and give them their way, right? And so they think, oh, I can get my way by doing this, pulling these strings, whatever. We saw it so much with Letitia. She thinks she's just so good. We even heard her brag to her friends of how she can make anybody believe anything, when in reality, you can tell she's full of shit, but she's probably just, people don't want to deal with it. They're just like, okay, whatever. So I think that I agree. She's definitely not inside of reality and thinks that she can kind of just keep pulling the strings. I do want to, though, before I get too far from it, read Chasing's comments, because she's been to CrimeCon and had a really good experience. She said it provides educational programming through panels, workshops, and presentations led by criminologists, forensic experts, investigators, attorneys, and journalists. There are cliques there for sure, but I can say Gray and I were a tiny podcast and I got to hang out with large creators. There was no weird vibe, and I also got to speak to families. I just think it's all about your intentions. And I think with anything, something can be
and
advantage
honestly, when you think about the victims' families, like sometimes how else would they all get together and support each other but at a place like CrimeCon? So I think that that's great, you know, because some of them make it like an annual thing. Like, I'll see you next year. And like, they know that like they're part of this whole story and like event, and it's the part that's very tragic, and it's the part that like really is like the heart of the whole thing, you know, the victims and their families.
Oh yeah.
But they're not hanging out all year round like at places. So if they can see each other once a year or twice a year, however often, then that's good for them.
I would assume too that like some of them go for support, like maybe people that their cases are not as widely known or their missing loved one. You know what I mean? I could see.
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain I've heard of that, but
Like
I
that
could see it
David,
happening.
that young man, David, I believe his name was, who got lost in the desert. His like Jeep crashed or whatever. I think like his.
Oh, I don't think I know that one.
You would know if you saw his face, but I can't remember his full name. But regardless, it's that perfect example we were just saying.
Right. Thank you, Jay. Well, that's why I wanted to comment. So Phoenix says, all of this is starting to make me feel icky about following true crime. I need a new interest. And I'm going to say and ask you, find the right creators, because don't turn away from it. Look, some of these cases, court cases, this was going, a court case at one point, but some of these actual true crime cases that get so much attention, there's just as many that don't, right? And that some of them really need the attention and really need people to care. And unfortunately, and trust me, because I cover a lot of cases that are not popular and not well known, sometimes it's like people don't care, that you can't get them to pay attention. I don't know what it is about certain cases, whether it's the way someone titles their video, the headline, whatever, or it's just the case in general. But, so just remember, for all the bad that's out there, even with CrimeCon, there's also a lot of good to be done, and there's a good purpose or reason for these things to happen.
Okay, the name was Daniel Robinson. He was 24 years old, geologist who went missing in the desert.
Yes,
in Arizona. Okay, so I just wanted to get that out there because I know that like his dad definitely like uses the connections at CrimeCon to get his son's case out there too. He was last seen at the job site.
I remember that case. I remember this case. It's still a case. It's ongoing. He's still missing.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, and hold on just one second, you guys. I'll be right with you if y'all could just chat for a second.
Good stream, Jen Lou.
Oh, stop it. That was terrible. I cannot believe I need to let it go. I fixed it. It's fixed. It's back up, you guys. I just had to edit it. So there you go.
It happens. At least
I fixed it. Yeah. So, okay. What do I think of CrimeCon? I mean, I'd like to go. I would. I think that there can be something learned. For me personally, I would be interested in what victims have to say. And I think that the reason what I would really be wanting to hear is something along the lines of like what Kay said on Precious panel when she talked about how it's a process and how for us that follow the cases, when it gets too heavy, when it gets to be too much, we can just stop looking at it. But for them, there is no option to just stop because it's their life. And those are the stories that I'm interested in hearing. I'm also interested in hearing about their loved ones themselves. It always makes me sad when I watch a documentary or even a trial, and we don't ever, because the trial's not really the place for it. You don't really get to know who the victim was, because yes, that's the last thing that happened to them, but there was everything that happened before, who they were as a person, their hopes, their dreams, their likes, all of those things. I think something that's happened, I think in true crime a little bit is, I think some of us, and even me at times, have lost a little bit of our humanity. And I think it's important that we remember that these are human beings. These are people. They are more than just victims. They are brothers, their sisters, their mothers, their fathers, their children. They're human. They had all these lives, these hopes, these dreams, these aspirations. And those are the things that I'm interested in hearing about.
Right. Oh yeah. And they're more than just a headline or the hot topic too,
Right.
Yes.
Which is what we're going to see. But Chasing, thank you for joining. I know you probably want to touch on CrimeCon, but I have some other things you might want to comment on too after.
Sure.
If you want. Okay.
Yeah. So if you go to the CrimeCon website, you'll see that there are different sections on there. So you've got case files, demonstrations, just general interests, meet and greet. So this is important. The people, you have to call them, you ask them, do you want to do a meet and greet? This year, like Nate Eaton, Colby Ryan, those guys were there. The behavior panel, John Ramsey was there for that specific thing. Delphi family. So you had Susan Hendricks, Becky Patty, Tara, Josh, Anna. There's several of them. Yeah, you got to go all the way down to where it says schedule. Oh, stop.
Right here.
Right there, schedule. Yeah. And
Okay,
so they go there specifically because either they are kind of like bonding with other families because we don't know how it feels. A podcaster doesn't really know how it feels. So these families end up like really bonding together and meeting people. And it isn't just a like, oh, I'm into gore and terrible things. There's so much education. If you use those filter by types on the side over there, you can see which families signed up or which podcasters. Like, for example, one of the team that I met there was Black and Missing. And while they started out small, they really have they've done so much good. There were also presentations this year about Indigenous women and children and how they don't get as much information.
Huge issue.
Right. So the public goes as well because they might be like a true crime junkie or whatever, they're into this stuff. But when they get there, it's a whole different thing. Like when I met Kay and Larry, and Becky Patty, it's a whole different experience. You're not like meeting a celebrity. You're hearing their pain and you're talking to them like and asking questions like, how can I help? What can I do? And usually it's really just if you can keep their face out there, we don't want the public to forget them, cover them with respect. This year, some of the Petito family went, and some of the was Idaho 4, one of the moms, she was there as well. So I know Ethan's mom, yes. So I know it sounds gruesome and strange, but it really gives the podcasters who go and the general public a whole different look at true crime and the way it should work. And that's a huge thing. There's never any drama at freaking CrimeCon, but this is Crama covering these things. And I think people have to be reminded of that. This is not true crime. What you're seeing right now with this community covering all of this stuff, this is not true crime.
Right. That is, yeah. Well, that's what Amber was talking about. I don't know why I'm getting feedback. That's what Amber was talking about, though. Oh, there we go. That's fine. It's just when you're unmuted. Because she's like, I just want to go through the documents, the body cams, like, and not get all into because that's another part of what I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight. This has a lot of people covering it. And of course, Crama channels would cover it, right? Like it is drama. So I can understand that. But it just makes me nervous because like I look at like Sebastian Rogers' case and what happened to that and how that devolved and looking for a little boy into what it devolved into. And I was going to show this. So, okay, let me see here. I got to switch my screen. If this is an example for you guys, if Hidden True Crime, if Lauren is the Zeus of exploitation, I literally saved these just to show y'all, then Krama, the community, is the Typhon, which is Zeus's biggest enemy, a monstrous serpent-like giant who nearly overthrew the gods during their epic battle. However, some argue his father Cronus represents his true fundamental enemy, but he's the ultimate physical threat, the catalysmic battles. Like, so if she's the Zeus of exploitation, you know, we just, like, people have to be careful and know that in Krama, that's where things go and they just get demolished.
Yeah.
What Lauren did is drama. You know, that's what she did. She's trying to turn it into a true crime thing. But you know, what she did with the whole Christina thing and 9 hours of a live stream was, yes, her feelings, sure, but it's drama. I mean, no matter how you look at it, so it totally is understandable why Krama is covering it.
Right.
But you have to also think, are the people covering it the true crime creators? Absolutely not. Look at the speakers who are on here, who, you know, the creators. You've got Crime Salad, Criminology, Crime Weekly, Detective Perspective, Kimberlea, Generation Y, Mile Higher. They would never.
Right. Well,
You're
there's
not
a
going to see that happen. You might see, you know, Krama, true crime people.
right, which I don't usually talk drama here, but I want to discuss.
I covered it, you know.
This one. Yeah. Remember, usually she doesn't cover Krama. Jen told me when it first started, I said, "Are you going to talk about it?" She said, "Oh, hell no." No. Then when the court document,
I did. I said it just like that too. Hell no.
Right. And it's smart not to, because it's,
But then I did.
well, yeah. I mean, well,
But
so
then-
here's the conundrum, right? We're true crime, but we also watch the Krama. So we're like sitting in the middle of this,
Right.
and you're looking at it like, this is just fucking drama. I'm so not covering this. But it is a true crime creator who's supposed to be a big true crime creator. And look what she did. So you kind of like, and I look at it from the perspective of trying to see it through a true crime creator's eyes. She has a hell of a lot of responsibility to the victims and to their families, and she befriended them, and then she is talking crazy about them behind their back. So for me, it's more about, you know, hey, this is maybe how not to act if you want to be, you know, and we hold these people to standards that maybe, I mean, should we be holding them to these standards? I don't know. But I mean, she's a good example of why we shouldn't get so involved with the families either.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. I feel like also another reason why I chose to, you know what, like, this needs to be talked about is, one, she has this humongous platform, and I watched her go on like other huge platforms and just use her emotional manipulation against everybody watching and the creators that, you know, some of them really good friends of mine and I love and respect truly. And to watch her manipulate people, and some being my close friends, like, it just rubs me the wrong way. It's like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, no, I'm going to show that you're using even her husband in his stream or premiere, whatever, using his like emotions and like his intellect to continue this manipulation. It's just, I'm like, I can't even stand by and like not say anything. But then also it's like, people love true crime for so many different reasons, and one of them is exposing corruption. I know you guys on panel like have had their hands in doing that in cases numerous times. And I feel like even though it's not the justice system or the law enforcement like causing the corruption here, to see it reversed where like somebody's pretending to be the victim and using the system to manipulate that way, like it's almost like reverse. And I'm just like, oh no, like you are literally like, I almost felt like the cops, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but in the body cam, like weren't really like buying it 100%. Like they weren't like, I don't know. Maybe it was just another day in the office for them, but I just felt like maybe they weren't even really like on board with it 100%.
I kind of felt like they had a job to do. They had to do it. And they were just like, here you go. Okay, bye. Like, I don't have time for this lady. Like, you guys are making TikToks about each other. Shut the fuck up.
I thought they were like a little more comforting towards Christina than they were, because at one point the officer did say, I'm sorry that this has happened.
Right.
But I also think that, like you said, Chasing, they have a job to do. They were there to do a job. She had to be served in order for it to go into effect. She was served. That's what they were there to do. They didn't give a rat's fat kneecap about Grayson saying that she spoke to a different detective and this is the first time that she feels like she's been heard. They don't care about that. They're not trying. Case isn't being tried there. They don't care. But for me, I think personally, why I was interested in covering, and the only part that I've covered is the actual exhibits and declarations submitted to the court, because there's such a divide. Even though we're all watching and seeing the same thing, people are viewing it very, very differently, and they're very diametrically opposed. And it's like there's one side or the other, which I think is always bad business, because the truth always lies somewhere in the middle of that. And I think two things can be true at the same time. I think that Lauren can be overreacting, and I think that Christina can be wrong and foul and petty at the same time. And I think that what I was interested in is because I went and listened to Lauren and John's rebuttal, if you will, but their response. I was like, wait a minute, she did what? So then I wanted to see the evidence. I wanted to understand how this got to where it got to legally. That was what it was for me. I don't care about her outfit or whether her toes were painted at the crime con wearing the flippy flip. I don't care about any of that crap. Like, I don't.
Well, I think there could be more legal stuff to look at if depending on what happens, or it could die down. So I think that's going to be interesting too. But before we get too far from this, I just want to show y'all. Look, so on September 5th, they have Ashley Banfield, Jesse Weber, and Jeanette Levy. Then they have Nady and Colby Ryan, Detective Hermosillo. Then Nancy Grace and Joseph Scott Morgan. Then they have John Ramsey. But then I saw Stacy Chapin here, and looks like Grusing, like Johnny Grusing. That's Detective Grusing, right? Special Agent Grusing. So, I mean, I can see why. For me, I want to hear from all those people. I want to learn from all of them. Not like, not in a like I'm a fan, like they're a celebrity, but some of these people, like Joseph Scott Morgan, his brain, I want to hear from him. Like, so I can see the allure, but God, it's expensive.
I would like to have heard from Johnny Grusing, but I need to hear Nancy Grace. I need to know if she's as yelly.
She is. Yeah.
Ghost? Okay.
She's exactly like the same exact thing. Yeah.
See, that would fascinate me, and I would just be sitting there. Huh?
I said that's crazy to me that she's really like that. Just
yeah. And also, I would have liked to seen John Quinones, because I grew up watching him. My mom loved John Quinones.
So Chasing, what did you think about like all these videos that have been made and interviews? We've had Awen, she's done several videos because you weren't up here when I commented on like her story and what she had to say. But yeah, what did you take from any of that? Anything?
Today, I was doing a few things because I just got back from traveling for work. And so I was listening carefully to exactly what she was saying about Lori Vallow's mental health evaluation. So she got a hold of it. She asked a lawyer friend if this would be okay to whatever. And the lawyer's like, where the hell did you get that? She said, oh, they posted it or whatever. And somehow Lauren gets it, somehow, and decides to post it. But then they blamed Awen. So I can see why she would be mad, because, you know, you shouldn't violate somebody's mental health like that. You shouldn't be posting any of that stuff. But then she was saying that Lauren went on like a hate campaign with her flying monkeys against her. And I feel like, if I'm being completely honest, we're hearing half the story, or not, maybe not even half of the story. I think we're hearing very little.
Right.
And maybe, you know, maybe all of this gave them the balls to come out, because they see that there is support out here for people who feel like
Yeah.
they've been victimized by her. But I also feel like all this could take the attention away from, you know, maybe like the K and that family, because it's more about victims. It's not about all of us arguing. It's not about creators having beef. But I mean, whatever. I guess it's just to prove the point. Well, yeah, she did it to me too. And I mean, I get that, but
Right.
okay, you know, me and Allie could talk shit about each other. What does that have to do with the victims in true crime? Nothing. Kay is a victim because our family was killed. So that's horrible. I can't hold Lauren to a standard that I can't meet. You know, I might talk about whoever, but
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, making friends with victims' families so that I can get views and bringing them on and acting like, you know, I love them, and having my kids call them a second grandma or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the fuck, I don't know.
That was in my notes too, calling Larry Grandpa Larry or whatever. Like,
yeah, it's like you got that close and then you're in the background doing all this shit.
It's manipulation.
It is.
Taste.
It's really frustrating to know that there's some people, I mean, some of you on this panel right now, who put out great work your ass off, showed total respect to victims, to crime victims, to missing people, try and put that information out there. And somebody like Lauren ends up with this enormous platform and then is doing the things that she's done. And I'm not, you know, is she the devil? No, you know, but what she did is it's nasty. It's nasty. She's a nasty person to me.
I agree 100%. Like, the vibes are clear as day. Like, I always kind of got like a superficial feeling, but like now it's just confirmed.
Same.
But I just wanted to say before I hop off, because I got to finish doing bedtime, but thanks for having me up. Crap, now of course I forget. But no, basically not only is it frustrating to see like people just grind at it and like get bypassed by people who don't have as good of ethics or integrity, but with all that aside, like what really irks me is like she just gives us all a bad name. That's most. But thank you, Allie. It was nice talking to you guys.
Thank you for coming up, and I'll be over there this weekend. That is such a good point, because it makes us all look like assholes.
People saying, you know, I don't even know why I follow true crime. I don't know why I follow true crime. Well, you're taking in all of this drama stuff right now, so it probably does feel even worse, because, you know, I did that experiment where I just didn't watch it for like 30 days and I felt a billion times better. And I mean, if you're negative in, then, you know, that's what's going to happen. And all of this is really negative. It's like this creator that you watched and people respect, and then it's a lie. You know what I mean? I don't know. Or I mean,
and not only is
feels like it's a lie.
Yeah, and not only that though, then you have the aspect that comes in with the victims and Kate, like Kay saying she felt exploited, Kresha saying she felt invisible, like those kinds of things that make it even more negative and heavy and just
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, it's awful. Oh, what is this?
Have you guys seen this? This is her being interviewed at CrimeCon.
No.
Yeah, I
have
know
not
that she
seen
was
this.
on like a podcast type show. So
I just ran across it today. It's quick, but we'll listen to it. There's just a couple interesting things I want to show y'all on TikTok. So this, I was going to play one of her other videos, and in the video about the swinger, where Lauren's talking about her friend, and I just thought it was interesting, like pulling up, if you search the transcript of her video for the word swinger, and I pulled up in the 9-hour stream what she had to say about it versus the text, like it just adds another, like it's another example of the manipulation, and the twisting. I thought it was interesting, but okay, here we go.
It's just the coolest thing ever. Like, it really is. Seeing the dynamic between everything and everyone. I drove 6 hours. Why? So I wasn't able to go to Lori's trial last service, so I wanted to. And this year I did the ticket system really fast, and I got it on the opening statement for the first 2 days. And that's where I met Marcella. And mostly I followed it from the beginning, and I feel like it's a way to witness that the victim is in a way. Chris man is, and I then had the opinion that this man needs to die. Just like, he needs to know that his days are limited, just like he made those children fans.
I'd like to find the full interview, but that's all I've got. But if you see, she's so excited about coming to CrimeCon. She just can't wait to see like the detectives and the victims' families and all of them kind of interacting with journalists. And she bought her tickets immediately, like just the excitement and
I mean, there are people who wait for CrimeCon like you would not believe. There are like my cousin is in Boston, and who are the ladies? The Crime Junkie, maybe? I think if they come, wherever they are, she's going. She's going to watch, but she doesn't, or she's going to listen, and they do like meet and greets or whatever. But she doesn't listen to true crime on a regular basis. She just listens to them, which is interesting to me. But there are huge true crime enthusiasts. They're going to go wherever, and they are excited. Like, they'll go on the CrimeCon cruise. They go on, like, I think CrimeCon had like some
cruise crazy
event too that they did. I don't know. But yeah, people are very, very, very into it.
And let me say, I'm wrong, and it's actually in the title, but thank you to Lindsay. This is actually 2024. But regardless, Lindsay says this is from when Lauren claimed she gave her tickets to Christina because she, quote, had to stay back to seek justice with the victims. And in the 9-hour live, Lauren claimed she gave Christina her ticket for CrimeCon in Nashville. So, quote, she didn't lose out this year by getting thrown out, which is paraphrasing, but interesting. Right. Okay. No, it is important. I'm glad that you, that's why I wanted to say it vocally too, in case people are just listening. This is 2024. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Mindy, got anything before I go to the next one?
I mean, it's okay. That'd be like me saying, Allie, I got tickets to CrimeCon. I can't go. Here, take my ticket. Then the next year I get your ass thrown out, like as if that's
no, that's
somehow even. But she put her she's in the National Crime Database. Shut up. Because of this.
Yeah.
It ain't even. I don't know. It's
so that protection order.
6,000 to 7,000 people go every year. That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
It is. It is a lot of people. I mean, we just had a conference for work. It was like 500 people. And that's a hell of a lot of people. 500. But 6,000. I can tell you when we were podcasters, we were on Podcast Row, and it stays packed. Like, you don't understand. It's like trying to walk through a wall of people. There's so many people there. And
so Podcasters Row, is that like just tables where you have to rent ahead of time if you are a podcast so people can meet you, like introduce you? Or
yeah, you have like stuff from your podcast up. You can have like, QR codes where they can go to your podcast or whatever. You get
Right. Yeah.
other podcasters and make connections or whatever. And then for me, I was a fangirl because it was the other podcasters. I got to meet like Stephanie Harlow and hang out with her, and Defense Diaries was there, Prosecutors Podcast, Monsters. This is Monsters, that guy. Southern Fried True Crime.
Yes.
Stopped, doing her stuff. But I mean, there were just so many people that I've listened to forever that I really wanted to meet. They've put out great work. Black and Missing, I got to finally connect with them, which was great. So
That's
it was
so cool. Yeah.
so interesting. It really was interesting. And it wasn't because of crime. It was just kind of because these are people I listen to all the time. So
yeah. And it's not about them being celebrities. Like for me, I would want to go like to learn from them and just to get, not because I think they're a celebrity and I'm worshiping them. You know what I mean? Which is kind of the way it's been talked about.
Yeah, people try to make it seem like that. Unless you go, it was quite an event. I hung out with Trish at Web Sleuths for a few days, and she's one of the nicest people ever. She's very loyal to her friends, and I think that's probably why she's backing Warren. I would like to see her look at things a little more objectively, but I mean, that's not my business. It is what it is. But we had coffee together and we did lunch, and I think we met up for dinner one of the days. But she's just a very nice person, and she's friends with Lauren. So
Wow. Yeah. I'm with you though. I wish she would look at things a little more objectively, and then all the stuff with like crush. I don't know. But it's hard when it's your friends. Like if my friends are wrong, I still have their back. I'm going to tell them they're wrong, but I'm not going to leave them hanging and not support them at all. Now, publicly, I would say they were wrong. I wouldn't be backing the bullshit, but I don't know. It's hard, when you have relationships with these people, but
there's a difference between, I think that I would do what Allie is saying. I would be, if it were Allie, and it would never be, which is why I can use her as an example. But if this were Allie, I would be like, girl, you fucked up. I would tell her, you fucked up bad. Now what can we do to fix it? But let me tell you what I would not do. I would not go live on my channel and say, she didn't fuck up at all. What's wrong with you? You're all evil. What's the matter? I wouldn't do that either. I'd be taking the right to remain silent. I'm not going to say nothing. I ain't finna incriminate me, and I'm not fixing to incriminate my friend. But behind the scenes, I'd be helping her. I'd be like, look, we need to fix this. This is how we do it. You say, don't say anymore. Put your head down, do your true crime, but let's keep it pushing.
Exactly. And I don't know why somebody is not, and maybe they are, going to Lauren and saying, no. What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop talking. Just move on. And I think she did move on today, because I saw that she did a video. So, I mean, maybe she's just going to move on from it and no longer do this bullshit because it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, Melissa had told me, she said that she had posted a video and that, no one in the comments had mentioned this. And she's like, and I'm glad, which I agree with her, because if it's about an unknown case that needs attention, like I would hate for this bullshit to be drug into that too. And that's such a good point. Okay, so let me show y'all this.
And you got to think of it like that. Like, there's nothing we can do. People have drug her to death. Either she cares or she doesn't. Well, what can we do about it? Nothing. So
right. Like I'm out. Yeah. I'm done. I did my I thought I was going to do the court audio, but like at this point, I'm over it. And I feel like even just reviewing it, even though they are accurate observations and sometimes a little hilarious too. I find myself getting yelly, which is never a good look. So, because I'm frustrated. So, the best thing for me to do is just be like, okay, you know what? I said what I had to say. I don't think it rose to the level of a temporary injunction, and I definitely don't think it would rise to the level of a permanent injunction. That's it. That's all. Moving on. But I'm not going to judge anybody who isn't, who has other things that they want to say, or if other things come out, they want to comment on it. That's not my place. You know, that's not my place.
I'm kind of in the wait and see. I wonder what's going to happen. I'd be very surprised I'm surprised Christina hasn't responded with a lawsuit at this point. And if that or something like that should happen, I'll definitely follow it and talk about it. But
those things take time. I think that if she, she's might be collecting evidence at this point, if that's what she were doing, or, perhaps she's weighing her options. Perhaps they both are. Perhaps Lauren realizes, the stalking injunction might not have been the right approach. Let me think there are other legal remedies available to both of them, quite honestly. And maybe they're weighing that out, because the legal remedies that I think would be available to both of them take a long time and they cost a lot of money. And at the end of the day, is it worth it?
Yeah. Hell no. But look where we're at now.
Because, rarely in these situations does vindication occur like it did for Johnny Depp. Okay. When Johnny Depp, when he took Amber Heard to court, he actually did lose jobs because of the things that Amber Heard wrote. Even though she didn't name him specifically, everybody knew who he was talking about. There's a big, huge difference between the op-ed that was in a nationally syndicated newspaper and printed online and a tickety talk with 500 subscribers. I don't give a rat's hat kneecap about no 30,000 views. That ain't nothing for TikTok. Okay, let's keep it in perspective. And when he got up on that stand, got to tell his story, and the jury, he did get a little vindication. It wasn't a total vindication, because he did get in some trouble and they did find for Amber on one thing, but mainly they found for Johnny Depp. But that wasn't what it was about for him. What he wanted people to understand is this is what really happened. And the genius about all of that happened is that it was Amber Heard's own evidence, the shit she recorded. That is what hung her up. And the fact that she thinks we all don't know how a door works. Ma'am, if you are standing on the outside of the door and you are pushing in, you was not trying to keep anybody out. You trying to get in. Stop playing with these people. We know how a door works. Ugh.
Jen. Mal, thank you for being a member for 31 months. And Teacup, thank you for 24 months. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that so much.
I am sorry for her dog that stepped on the bee, though. No, I feel bad for the dog. I don't feel bad for Amber at all. Not even a little.
Thank you, guys, again. All right, listen, y'all got to see this, though, because I thought this was kind of interesting. So this video of Christina's, she's sharing all the text from this where she's talking shit about this Jay person and comments and stuff, where Jay, and she says ex-friends lies about Jay to others. One comment here says, wait, go ahead.
You remember the name that they were saying, Janice?
Yes.
Yeah, that's her.
Okay. I was wondering who it was. Okay. Thank you. All right. So that makes sense. So you get along with Jay and Annie. That's not a winning endorsement. Everyone in court acts like we are all in this together for justice and super excited, kind to one another, except for Jay, who acts like she's saving seats in the cafeteria for the cool girls. And there's several others just talking shit. I won't read them all, but there's this one that says, why do I suspect allegedly Janice is a swinger? Because I do. At least she's dabbled, maybe dabbling. Now, listen to what Lauren.
Hold on. When was that text? When did she send that text? I'm curious. Do you know? Does it say on there?
No, it doesn't say. It's just
because I was kind of curious if this whole swinging thing happens, having to come out around the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, because the first season, that was quite a scandal. See, I watch a wide range of
I don't
things:
know.
horror, trash, gossip, and true crime.
I don't know shit about that, but maybe I should. But so listen to this. This is the point of the 9-hour live where they're talking about all like the 6 years of text messages. Okay, so here we go. That they had to go through. But actually, maybe I should leave the transcript up. It's just funny because she tries to make it out like, you know, she had a picture of her sitting on a swing. Just manipulation. Here we go.
And so you did it. You did it.
I think there were 4.
She knew the assignment. how many days and how many hours?
It took a lot of days. There were a lot of nights I was up until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning going through, figuring out, okay, this one, we could talk about one. I think it's really funny. Everyone has this rumor that you called somebody a swinger, and
Oh my God, just the attitude. I think it's really funny. Okay, listen.
You were like, where did this come from? I don't remember ever doing that. And I was like,
this person's not a swinger. I never thought this person was a swinger. What is this? And everyone's like, she called her a swinger. I'm like, she defamed me. She told everyone it was a swinger. I'm like, who the hell did I call a swinger?
So
I didn't call anyone a swinger.
I went through.
You found it on accident.
I found it. I found it. And I called you giggling, and I said, Lauren, I found it. You did call somebody a swinger. It was because they were on a swing in their profile picture, and you made a joke. But they got clipped. That got clipped. So and there's been a lot of those messages.
Was somebody on a profile picture of a swing, as this person will tell you we've never been friends, and someone said, look at this picture of her swinging, and I said, why do I think she dabbled in swinging?
Come on. Like, I'm sorry. That just, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm
No,
wrong.
you're
Maybe
not crazy. No,
Okay.
you're not. Stop playing with these people, Lauren. And for the love of Pete, ma'am, that is a refill. That is not supposed to be a jug you drink from. You're supposed to keep that in your refrigerator and pour it in a cup. I can't. I'm sorry. I know that's petty, but I'm just frustrated at this point. So now I'm just being petty. Let me just stop and behave.
And I think that's what I don't like too is, and I
People
think
are petty.
thing. No, don't play in my face like that.
Yeah.
You said what you
Yes.
said. Just own it and let's move
Right.
on. Like, who
Right.
cares? I mean, sure, could it be damaging to that woman's life if Lauren was spreading that around and anybody believed it? Sure, it could be. I mean, we can't say it's that petty because we don't know really what, that could have affected this lady in some way. Who the hell knows? But the bad part is she's then messaging the girl on the next screen saying we should have got together for dinner. That, like, while she's actively talking crazy in all those text messages, she's messaging the girl at the same time.
Playing in people's face.
Wait, is that in this video? Because I saw that earlier. Yes, it is. Okay, let me go back to it. Then,
what's wrong with you?
Here's what Chasing's talking about. How much longer are you in town? I'm leaving tonight, but we should go to dinner before blank is over. I know we have something on other ends of the aisle with the politics of this case, but I've always liked you, and I think when it comes down to it, we all just want fucking justice. Anyway, if you're down to hang out, I'd love to sometime. I should have probably invited you over when I interviewed Blank's friend. It was a wild ride.
I've always liked you.
Oh,
yeah.
Side chat. Why do I suspect so-and-so is a swinger? Because I do. Like, come on, Lauren. Stop being messy with these. But you're being messy. Just
she
admit
literally
it.
just said in the video in the bed. They can tell you we were never friends. We weren't friends.
Well, right. I've
Oh my
always
God.
liked you. We were never friends. Why are you trying? Lauren, this is look, I'm a girl's girl, so I'm going to give you some girls' advice. You are not Mariah Carey. Stop acting like I don't know her. Okay, you
that's
ain't that
offensive,
level.
yeah.
You need to stop.
That's
need
when
to
I agree
stop.
with you, Chasing, about playing in my face like that. It's offensive. We're not fucking stupid. Come on, man. Just say, yeah,
Right.
you know what? I talk some shit, whatever. But the twisting
Yeah.
and manipulating and the curating every single aspect, it's so Chasing. I'm sorry, I was saying this last night, like, and earlier today. Like, reminds me of Letitia. I'm not saying she is like Letitia, half as evil, but the manipulation aspect is like right out of her handbook, her playbook.
It's really uncomfortable because, again, maybe it's our own fault, but you're watching these creators. And if you are serious about your channel and you're serious about true crime and you're serious about doing a good job, you want to emulate certain things sometimes. And then you find out, oh, basically they suck and I'm an idiot, so they're just phony bitches too, just like people in drama,
Yeah.
and everywhere else. It's
Yeah.
disheartening. It's annoying.
Super disheartening.
I don't care about
The
that
thing,
as much as Kay. Kay, Tylee,
yes, agree.
the other podcasters that she's, using for whatever reason. It's disgusting. It's disgusting behavior overall.
Yeah. I'm surprised though with this type of like personality and attitude and these kind of things going on. How do you get to such a large number of subscribers before something like this happens? You know what I mean? Like, I'm surprised it didn't
Because I
happen a year
think the
ago.
people that she did it to had ethics and they kept it quiet. They're, like, what do I always say? Drama is not a party. You ain't got to RSVP every time you're sent an invitation. You do not have to attend. Hell, you don't even have to respond. Just let it go. Some of it's not worth addressing. And perhaps
Um,
that's what these people felt like. This is just not worth addressing. If I don't say anything, it will just go away.
That's a good point, because I know a lot of my friends who have done that in situations that wouldn't just feed into drama, and they'll ignore a lot of shit. So it's possible. Conspiracy. I watched one of your videos on this today on TikTok, actually. But she says, and this, I agree. I think Grayson fed off of Lauren and it amplified her emotions. That video of what we just watched her in the bed, the way she was talking, it was like a manic person or I don't know. It was just so intense.
Hold on, I want to show you guys something really quick before I forget. But go. You
Okay.
keep talking, Allie. I'm gonna remember how to use.
No, I'm done anyways. That was pretty much all I wanted to talk about tonight. I had some more things I was going to get into involving like how it makes me nervous that this is like now a topic in the trauma communities. And when you see like victims' families that have already felt exploited, used, manipulated, it's concerning. That's really the only other thing I was going to talk about though. And it just worries me. I hope that I don't want to see a bunch of personal drama from the trauma community and stuff dragged and intertwined in with these victims and their families. Just like with the drama with the two creators that have went back and forth for years getting intertwined with Sebastian's case. I don't want to see that happen with this one or with any other like drama. You know what I mean? Not necessarily just that, just like anything like that happening. It's just.
Do you think that even listen though, Allie? Do you think that even, if right now they're warning each other about each other, like, so they're trying to say, oh, you shouldn't go over here or be careful of this one. But if they've already kind of connected in some way,
Right,
they're going to be sucked right into it. And because you now have 1,000 people, you feel like supporting your cause, they hear you and you want to be heard. So if it's only trauma doing it, then that's where you're going to land. And it is unfortunate because you know how things get here. So,
yeah, you're 100% agree with you. And I don't know if you've already made that connection, and sometimes people have to learn for themselves anyways. Like, you know what I mean? You got to, and it just sucks to sit back and watch, and maybe it won't go in a negative way at all. I hope it doesn't. But
I hope not, because they've been through enough stuff, right? So
yeah.
But we know people here can flip on a dime. I mean, but that's probably everywhere, right? People just get sick of it and they're like, goodbye. That's it. I don't like you anymore. Get off my panel.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
It always happens. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And I think I have to disagree with conspiracy. I don't think that I think this is I don't think that one fed off the other. I think they fed off each other, because I watched that video of them at the dinner table, the after video, the exhibit 22A and B, and they're hyping each other up. Period. Both of them. They're like, I don't know. It is what it is. I just think this is what I want to know, for real, for real. I want to know how she convinced Grayson to go through 6 years worth of text, because let me just tell you what I would have responded to that request. That is not in my job description. Those are your texts. You go through them. Might I suggest using Control F?
Well,
because I wouldn't do it.
Can we just think about that for 1 second? They knew each other for a year, okay? And then they just stopped talking, but in April, and the drama started. So why would you need 6 years? Because you're a liar? Is that why? Because you're lying again? Just like you are a liar on everything? 6 years.
Right.
Shut
6 years.
Hell up, please.
6 years. And also, who's worried that their texts, if they're exposed, are going to re-victimize victims and their families? You know what? If anybody exposed my texts, you know what it would show? It would show that I talked shit. That's it. That's what I would be worried about. You know what I'd be most worried about?
Not about victims.
No. You know what I'd be most worried about? That some of the jokes I told wouldn't land. I would be worried that people didn't think I was funny. That's it.
I could never. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. That would never ever be a concern of mine.
No.
That it would re-victimize victims. That's just the fact. She knew. Like, you can just, you're transparent, lady.
So this is what I hope. Take this as a lesson, Lauren, and maybe not even to Lauren. Take this as a lesson, people. Okay. And it's fine to empathize and sympathize and want to tell the victims and their families' stories. Okay. But be very, very, very careful. Maybe don't go, maybe meet them out for dinner once. I don't know if I would even do that. But
that's like conspiracy's comment there. You know?
It does you can't be objective if you're their friends. You just cannot, because once you get into some type of friendship with them, you're going to you lose the objectivity. So anything that anybody says that might be negative or that you perceive as negative, because let me say this too. Sometimes people think that people are saying negative things when they ain't. They're just questioning. Asking a question is not negative. Okay? You cannot. I need to see the facts and the evidence. I'm not taking anybody's word for anything.
I clearly made that mistake in spades. I cared about these people who I did not know from anybody. And I felt like they were innocent. And they very well could be. But until I had something that I could say, I can't fuck with these people, then I defended them. And it was, the Wells and Summer Wells case.
Right.
And I mean, I ultimately did end up meeting them, and that made me even more empathetic towards them and made me want to defend them even more. And time went on and that's changed. But once you put yourself so deep into something and you find yourself caring more about the people than the case, right? If that makes sense, because those parents are quote unquote suspects, but you let your emotions take over, and it's not good. It isn't.
You have to be careful.
Do you think, Chasing, when you got close with them though, did your like, because I feel like your coverage changed. You weren't on here talking about every little update. You weren't on,
Mm-mm.
you were keeping her name out, but you weren't like feeding into, and at that time, the coverage really wasn't even case related anymore. It was kind of just what's Dawn and Candace up to last night on YouTube. And you never fed into that. Like, do you think that it changed after you got close with them?
So I started it. I had no idea about them, and I was very suspicious of them in the beginning. But it became such an overwhelming case that that's all I ever really talked about anymore. And then there was so much misinformation coming out that I became a channel that was trying to debunk misinformation and keep her case as factual as I possibly could. So I was constantly covering it. Then I got sick and tired of people just judging them because Candace didn't wear a bra, or, you know, she doesn't speak well. And Dawn, you know, Dawn's a mess. And he would get on drunk and people would exploit him and let that happen. I almost felt like I went back in time to my own childhood. And they reminded me a lot of how I grew up, and I felt bad for them. But then I met them, and I was even more on their side at that point.
Jason, let me ask you.
However,
Oh, sorry.
some things happened, you know, information. I mean, it's already been all over YouTube, but just allegations of different things. And, you know, we had the conversations, and I'm like, I can never support anything like this. So I'm out. I'm sorry. But I hadn't been covering summer for a whole year, you know.
Right.
I would just keep her posters out. We were still doing Summer's Day. We ran ads on Facebook. We were getting her posters printed. Nana for Life puts them up. We were still doing all of that, but it wasn't the same at that point.
Oh my God.
But you know what I don't remember chasing? I don't remember I didn't even know that you met or remember that you met them. And probably the reason I don't remember that is because I don't remember you putting it on YouTube
Oh no.
and making a video about it. See,
Oh, no.
I think there's a difference.
That's a point. Yeah.
There's a
That's a fair point.
difference in caring and exploiting. Or caring because you actually care, because you see that we don't. The fact of the matter is, Candace and Dawn have not been charged.
No, they haven't.
And it's one thing to speculate and say, something doesn't quite feel right, and leave it there. It's another thing to go and say, they did it. They absolutely
Make
did
up
it, and
lies.
here's how. Exactly. That's different.
That really hurt and bothered me a lot, because I can't imagine my child being missing and people saying, you know, I have rats the size of cats in my house. I mean, I've been in their house. I've been in their house. There are no fucking rats and cats. You know, none of that.
Yep.
And, you know, I've been up there and purchased them cleaning supplies. We've gone on physical searches for summer. Physical, you know, up to our necks and weeds and sticky little things that jack up your face. And it was just insane. But people were really mad that we didn't record every single thing, bring it back for content. And it caused a lot of drama.
I appreciate that you didn't, chasing. I know that,
Me too.
I know that might not be like a huge big deal because you got such overwhelming hate for it. But personally, from me to you, I just want you to know, I think it's admirable, and I appreciate the fact that you didn't do that. Not everything is content. Not just because we have a camera with us 25/8 doesn't mean we have to take it out and film or photograph everything.
No.
Some things are not for the social medias, period. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Well, let me
interrupt
ask you. Well, just before you go any further, just a quick question. Like, what if they ask you to put something out? Like, what if they ask you, hey, you know, there's a lot of people with questions about XYZ. I want to answer them. Can I come on? Like, then.
Yeah, they definitely, you know, there's been a few requests that I've had where I felt like it was more manipulation because they thought that I had a voice and people would listen to me. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm not
Interesting.
going to do that. There was something with, what was happening? There was a big case that was breaking, and Dawn wanted to come on and do something. I wish I could remember right now what the hell it was, but it was very important. Whatever had just happened with another different case, and Dawn was very frustrated, and he wanted to come on and talk about something. So his handler, as they call him, is the guy Tim. And I said, no, Dawn, I think you need to three-way me with Tim and maybe have a discussion. And so we talked about it, and I was like, I think it's in really bad taste. This is not your moment to do this. This is about this case, whatever. I can't remember what it was, but it was important. It was very important, whatever it was. And I'm like, I just don't think it's a good idea. No. And so I said, no, I don't. But I mean, have Candace and Dawn ever asked me to do something for them? No, except that one time. And, I was able to talk them out of it.
Yeah, but see, the fact that you even said,
tried, because most people
look, first of all, it started with the whole, all right, well, let me get on a conference call with all of y'all. That was the first step, which was a good step. And then you were like, I don't think this is a good look. No, don't do this.
And it wasn't. It was a bad look.
Right. But it would have got you. Think about it. You could have just jumped on it, and there would have been, and there are people who would have, and they would do that. They would do that.
They'll do.
There's a creator on here. I'm not going to say any names, but there is a creator on here who wanted to do a documentary about how this case affected us as YouTubers. Can you fucking imagine?
No.
She wanted me to join her in this venture. I was like, what? I'm like, this isn't about us. What are you talking about? No. And this was probably only like, I don't know, a year into her case. And it was some cockamamie ass idea. I'm like, are you fucking crazy? I've never looked at her the same since that day. I mean, we don't even communicate whatsoever at this point. But what kind of fucking weirdo thinks a missing child's case is about them because they've covered it?
Yeah.
Close to the like, are you okay right now? I don't think you are.
Oh my gosh, these people, they get like the God complex, or it's all about them. You know what I mean? It's they never care about what other people are going through. Hello, documentary on what the parents have been through with social media since their daughter's been missing. Work on that, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe not
the
about
town, the brothers.
Crazy person.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was so much that's happened in Summer's case. I can't even.
Yeah, there has been. And there's so much more I want to talk to you about. I hope we'll do a part 2 one day to that interview, because I want to get into the more recent stuff and like the polygraph and some of that stuff. And yeah, I have thoughts. I want to dig into it, but I want to read you, because I think this young Black economist has some good ass comments. And she says here, there are shades of gray between black and white, but in my opinion, Lauren is clearly misbehaving, which is why I totally reject the both sides argument here. Christina exposed Lauren. It's good, in my opinion, because I've actually been one who kind of felt like the both sides argument fit, because some of the things Christina, like the brother stuff, was putting out there was unnecessary and just it was gross. It was too far. But I mean, I don't know. I think that if somebody has such a big platform, and they are clearly, like she goes on to talk about Kay and how she made her felt in the next comment, the two were kind of together. And when somebody, I don't know, I think it's fair to expose them. Where's the line of where is that line of obsession and stalking versus exposing for the greater good, if you will, which we've kind of see in the BNN too, like around here, like when is too much? Too much. Yeah. Where's the line?
I think it's back. I think the BNN's back.
Which is crazy.
Well, I didn't think it'd be gone long. How long is this Lauren content going to last? Lauren
Right.
has over 300,000 subscribers. She's got a base. She doesn't need to make more crazy videos. She can say what she said and be done and move on, and her base isn't going anywhere. Yeah, she might lose up to 5,000 people. In the grand scheme, it's not a lot.
Yeah.
Now, if there's backlash from other journalists and stuff, and she actually is blacklisted the way that she said she was, then maybe that's really going to affect her in some way, and she better do some self-reflecting. But she doesn't need all of this, so they can't pick this apart forever, but they can pick, the BNN apart forever.
It's true. Yeah.
So that ain't
Well, it reminds me though what you're saying of Zav. Remember when the autopsy photos came out and she took a huge hit. I mean, Brian Enton did that piece on her. And I'll never forget watching him. I was mad at her for I was frustrated in the moment or mad over it. But I'll remember watching Brian Enton and feeling bad for her because I was like, oh my God, I don't know what I would do if this was me. The whole something this big, the whole world kind of turning on me. And look, now she's back to making true crime videos like nothing happened.
Nothing.
So
JLR. He was absolutely the most bonkers whatever on here. He's bigger than how many? I mean, I can't even. I gotta look. I need to read
470. Yeah, look. And
how is that? How is that even possible? I don't even know.
It's crazy.
It's impossible. Oh my God, 447. He's bigger than Lauren. Okay. He is bigger than she is, which, I mean, that's really, wow. Okay, you go ahead then. And I mean, that's fascinating to me just because of everything that, people who Doug know about him. It's just absolutely fascinating. I swear he's like a transporter, and he just transports himself literally all over the universe. You know what I mean?
That's how he grew so much because remember after Quentin's after that whole fallout of him and Betty kind of separating and stuff, he just got busy and he was place after place after place after place. And I think so many new eyes,
I think he put his head down and said, you know what? I'm detaching from these people. They're crazy. And, got with his
smart move
woman, maybe regulated everything. And he's the dude now. I mean, he's a storm chasing, wildfire, standoff, border issue, fugitive, trial, justice, true crime, time traveler.
He does it all.
He literally does. I mean, he does from the Super Bowls to plane crashes to snow in Florida to Diddy to riot. I mean, you cannot even funny. JLR.
Storm chasing riot.
You can't.
I can't even remember all she said.
I'm telling you, this man, he just shows up. He just evaporates. I'm telling you, there is, it's something.
It's actually shocking who he is. We know who you are, sir. We know what you've done in the past when you were pretending to be Lindsay's uncle. Okay.
Yeah.
Stealing mail.
Yeah. The dolls.
He even turned that around. And was like, I was in jail. I did my time and wrote a book. Want to hear it? Here it go. Bye. Oh, all right, never mind. He admitted it. And you see, that is the huge mistake Lauren made.
Mm-hmm.
She should have said, I was PMSing. Do you have a fucking problem, bitch?
That's exactly it. Humans, I think, at our core, really are forgiving. Okay. If somebody comes out and says, it was in that moment, I knew I fucked up.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
I'd have a million times more respect for her if she came out and said, listen, I was trying to be professional. And I kind of pretended that I was, I liked you more than I do. And I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, no, Janice, I don't like you. But I was trying to do it for the good of humanity or some shit. But
Right.
did.
I was trying to do it for the gang. I was trying to do it for the band. I pretended to like you because you were part of the band. And you know what? I've left the band. I'm on my solo tour. And guess what? I don't freaking like you. I never liked you, and I'm not going to like you tomorrow. And next week ain't looking too good either.
I would have put out a video of my text messages. Like,
Yes.
here they go, bitch. You called. What?
Yes, exactly. Here I am. Here is
Yeah,
what
like,
I said, and here's
that's
when
what
I
they
said
say
it.
about me. If you say her name 3 times and somewhere, she's gonna come running, and
I've said your name 3 times on my channel, and you ain't never been there. That's
well,
a
not
lie,
in
y'all.
drama, not in drama. Like somebody will be talking shit about me, and my friend,
Oh yeah, no, I don't.
do not go. I'm like, I have to. They're like, no, don't, please don't. I'm like, it's too late. I'm already there.
But to be fair, I have also seen Chasing go into a chat and try
I have
to
tried.
be rational, to be logical, which I don't know what the fuck you were doing. You know that rational and logic has no place on these streets, ma'am. What are you doing? When I saw you in there, I was so like, go Chasing. Yes, maybe Chasing will get through. And then I was like, what the fuck are you doing, Jen? You know that ain't going to work. That never works. But I was happy you tried, because I used to try too.
I do think, there was a theory that my old boss used to have. People are inherently good. They want to show up every day and do well. Of course, he's talking about the workplace. But if you look at things with that perspective, like, oh, Jen Lou's talking shit about me today, but she probably woke up this morning with good intentions, and maybe she came across one of my snarky comments, or she didn't like my filter today. Who knows? So I try to go in and just say, okay, here's what actually fucking happened.
Chasing said she hated chocolate milk today, and I was not fucking around. So therefore,
I never watch haters. See, this is the other part of it. Somebody will post it somewhere, and bitch, I see it every time. Look at us when someone's hearing you. Don't make me scream. You rang. What? Yes. It's happened a lot where somebody will try to like sneak insult me or whatever. I hate that.
I've
Because
witnessed that towards you.
yeah, and you're gonna be a phony fuck. Just say the truth. I don't like you. Okay, Jay for Justice. Her and I do not get along whatsoever, right? She said what she had to say. I didn't respond. Why? Because I feel the same way. There's no misunderstanding there. It's like, oh, you don't like me? I don't like you anyway. So we're good. But there are misunderstandings where somebody may have taken something I said the wrong way, or my snark hit them the wrong way. And I will go try and explain, like, oh, no, I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry, or whatever. But if it's somebody that I'm like, oh, yeah, bitch, you're right, because I don't like you either.
If you already don't like them, yeah. But if it's somebody you have liked, or you kind of, have.
Exactly.
Right. That makes sense. I've seen you jump up on many panels though to answer when your name's gotten brought up. And the sneak dissing. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm not a fan of that. Say it or don't say it. Like, just please don't say shit if you can't flat out say it.
Yeah, we're adults. Just say it. Thanks. Just say it.
But
She's lost 8,000 subscribers. Are you kidding me? That's a lot.
for me, I'm probably not going to talk about this situation anymore. I've decided I'm not going to cover trauma stuff, like trauma created fights and stuff. But if something major in the true crime community is happening, whether it's this or a huge ass documentary with this, whatever, just any kind of big thing in the true crime, that's what I'm going to cover. You know what I mean? So if something happens from this, like if another court case, then I'll talk about it again. But I just don't want to get mixed up in I don't know.
I'm looking at her playboard. Her highest was 321,000. She's down to 318. So if people are looking at that idiotic What is
What
it
is
called?
it?
What's that stupid thing that we looked at? I hate it.
I
It's
used to check
never
it. I
right. It's so
can't
wrong.
remember.
Oh,
What the fuck is that one?
The Social Blade.
Social Blade.
Yes.
I bet that's what it is too. I hate
What's
that.
wrong with us?
Nothing. Allie, put this on the screen because this should be everybody's policy in life because this is my policy. What did you say to that bitch when she said she didn't like you? I said, well, then don't join my fan club, bitch. That should be everybody's policy. Sometimes it bees like that. Not everybody's going to like you. I know everybody doesn't like me. I know that there are people out there in this world who, when they see that I'm going to be a guest on Allie's panel, roll their eyes and close that live down. I know that. I'm not for everybody, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
The people who get me, get me. The people who like me, like me. I can't be worrying about trying to please everybody. I don't even please myself half the time. You think I'm going to please some stranger on the street that I don't even know? No.
I don't care if you don't like me, but when I get frustrated is if they try to lie on me, spin stuff like that.
Yes.
That's really hard to be like, oh, fuck it. Because then I want to correct it.
But then sometimes I got to weigh out, okay, what is it that they said that's a lie about me? Okay. Do the people, and I always usually I default to this, the people who matter don't mind. And then I don't care about the rest of the people. Like the people who know me are going to hear that rumor or whatever that is. And they're going to be like, man, Jen Lou didn't do that. But I'll tell you what she did do because they know.
Yeah, however, her ass did say this.
Her ass would say this, like Allie told the whole world yesterday. Let me tell you, Jen Lou can read a bitch for filth. Absolute filth.
Oh, she can. The shit she says privately, not that she was not fake. She's not going to pretend to like you. I'm not saying she's fake. I'm just saying privately is a lot more harsh.
I'm even harsher to the
use
criminals
your manners
privately.
Yeah.
I think anything I would say in private, I would say, and you have to look at it that way because you don't know who's going to like you tomorrow. You might be in a Discord or a group chat with people that you love. You think that they're the best people ever, but I don't ever put it past somebody to be hating behind my back. You know what I mean?
That's
So
true. But
I think it that way, but facts are facts. And I'm really close to a few girls, like super close. And I know that would never happen, but you just never know what you might say one day to cross a person.
Mm-hmm.
So be prepared.
Even
for
unintentionally.
You say to come out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Look, y'all, they got a whole show on ID called Evil Lives Here. These are people that lived with evil in their house every day. And now they're looking back and they're like, oh, shit, that was a red flag. But at the time, they didn't see it.
But this with Lauren
went,
okay, so because this Lauren stuff went next level. Because if it was just shit talk about the other people, like you were saying earlier, Chasing, like who cares? But then when the shit talk crosses into family members of victims, then you have those family members speaking out and feeling exploited. Kay so upset that she compared herself to Charles like anybody would be. So then I think it gets all of us who normally wouldn't give a fuck or just watch with our popcorn. It gets us mad. Like I was raging, and it was like that escalated so much so quick because of that.
It is. It was that part for me. It was let me try to get a restraining order and call the cops. That was a problem for me. But what sent me over the edge and made me actually want to talk about it was when Kay said what she said, when Crushes said what she said, when she said when Crushes said she felt invisible, and when Kay said what she said, it went all over me. And then to know, like I did put myself in their shoes. I did say to myself, what if this were my family? And it was out there in the universe that somebody that we allowed in our home, because I don't allow anybody in my house. Like, I'm very private. That's why I don't turn my camera on. It's not because I'm a hideous troll and this avatar is fake. Ask Allie, she knows what I look like.
Yeah,
The
you look
prob-
just like your picture, but
I don't like, but to me, turning the camera on is letting people in my home, and I know what the internet is. It's open to the world. I wouldn't let the world in my home. So it's just a line for me. It's just
a
my
personal
personal comfort.
boundary.
Yeah.
Makes sense,
And
though.
and they, they were, Kay and Larry welcomed her to their home. And to know
Yeah.
that it's out there that she talked smack, I put myself in those shoes. And I'm telling you, Kay handled that with a level of dignity that I'm telling y'all right now, I
Mm,
don't think I could muster, because I'm
same.
telling you that I would be putting my hair up, Vaseline on my face, hoops out, and kicking the flip-flops off immediately. I would be going full scorched earth, ending bloodlines, all the things.
Well, you
And
got to
then I would take you to
it's your
court.
family.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
your actual, and I think that's a huge thing we forget,
Yeah.
because we
This
do
is
get so caught up in true crime. These are real people. They're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
a story. They're
right.
These are kids or adults or whatever. Somebody loved them.
Yep. And the problem is, think about this, Lauren inviting people into their home, and again, real people, getting close with them, but then using what they tell her and having the first one to have this story out, to comment
Mm.
on this, to have the inside scoop over and over again, truly does build your platform. I remember, because when Awen was talking about, like, back in the day when Lori's case started, that was before LawTube was so big. I remember some of these people like Nady and Justin Lum, they had very small followings.
I
This
really
case,
like Justin. Yeah.
me too. I like both of their reporting, but I agree with you, Justin Lum. But I first heard of him from that case. It did build their platforms up. So imagine you built your platform on my pain and my family, and now you're trash talking them behind my back. And not only that, using them like in your bullshit drama. I feel like Charles, when nobody was listening. Excuse me, do you understand that Charles was begging for someone to listen because his wife was mentally ill? He knew that his life was likely going to come to an end if nobody listened. And he also said she wouldn't be taking care of the kids. He knew.
He knew
It was
those
more
kids.
than
He was worried for those kids, I think, even above himself.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And
Taking
yeah.
photos of them as babies and using it as your own, like this is, case you still
Copyright strike.
her, and you're just
Yes.
using them as though it's fine. Who the hell told you that you could? Who do
Right.
you even think you are?
And then saying my victims.
Oh,
Excuse me, bitch. What you just said?
yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
Before I let you guys go, there was a comment and I lost it, but it was basically like, here it is. The problem with Lauren just moving on is I no longer trust her coverage. I now see John for a fool, especially knowing they sold out to Delphi law enforcement. I think a lot of people are going to feel that way. And you know what? Honestly, maybe she needs to learn a little lesson how to treat people with respect and dignity. And maybe she can gain people's trust back if she can do that. But it's hard for me too. I'll never look at them the same. I'll never look at his analysis of what's happening the same, ever.
No. And I'm sad by that, because his analysis of the interview with Stephen Stearns I thought it was actually spot on. And it's one of the things that made me think, think differently.
Forever. And
yeah,
thinking, these are really two people with integrity, intelligence, and trusting. And I'm not saying that her work is bad.
Right.
I'm not saying John's work is bad, but it does stop you in your tracks a little, like, wait, are you saying these things for views? Or are you saying this because this is the truth? And now I don't know.
Right.
Because I think you chose the side that was going to get you more views, whatever the hell that was. and that makes me kind of sick. So
Right. Which
And
is
one
why
thing
I wanted us to do the Delphi thing, chasing, but then you never like got
good.
back to me.
Well, I found out so much more behind the scenes about the Delphi stuff and her coverage, and
No, but I mean, why? I
well,
thought we were just going to read the transcripts from the trial because I still haven't made my mind up about that case because we didn't get to trial.
Okay, before I forget, let me just say real quick, because I know I'm going to forget this. Awen in her video, speaking of trust in Dr. John, I just want to say, because I forgot, she said that this report that came out, the mental health report from Lori Vallow, that Dr. John actually like commented on and analyzed and gave like an unethical analysis of that situation. And I think that's really interesting too. Just another aspect of this I wanted to mention. But okay, you can talk
when
about
is
Delphi
that
again.
ever
But
okay to do? When is that ever okay?
Never.
She's, clearly she's crazy as a bed bug, right? Okay. You came across that in a way that you probably shouldn't have. And now you're going to actually try to analyze it. It makes me think everything's for views. I don't care. It really makes me think like, ugh.
that's insane.
You know what? If somehow El Paso County messed up because Letitia had many mental health evaluations, and they were recorded. And if somehow, some way, even the report had come out that El Paso had accidentally put it up, and for whatever reason, on that particular day, I was lucky enough to swipe it. As much as I despise Letitia, I wouldn't put it out. It's wrong.
It is wrong. I agree.
I don't know that I would have known not to put it out. And like, honestly, if I would have just come across it in like a big file, I don't know if it would have clicked before this but for him, it should have for sure, being a professional. For me, like, I don't know. Honestly, I know that sounds stupid, but I don't know if I would even realize that.
It's more than he's just a professional. He's not just a psychologist.
They knew how to do it.
Right, but also this is what he does for a living. What Dr. John does is evaluates offenders for recidivism. Right. He is the person at a parole hearing he issues that report. That's what he did. So if anybody would know, just based on that, I mean, that is also part of him being professional, but I think it's important for people to know exactly what his profession is, because that's
well, that makes it even more
let me say this a different way. Exactly what he has put out publicly that his profession is. I didn't call nobody. I want that to be very clear.
How many doctors do you see online saying, though, I won't diagnose, I'm not giving a diagnosis, I'm not seeing this patient? Like, they are always clarifying that. So, but yeah, I really wouldn't. I guess that's pretty dumb, but maybe not, because Amber also said she wouldn't realize. And both of us, I would take it down or listen, but
yeah, I wouldn't put it out because I wouldn't put it out, not because I think it's illegal. I wouldn't put it out because I think morally for me, it would cross the boundary. Even Letitia.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying I thought it was illegal.
Oh,
I just wouldn't have realized like it would be, because we've looked at so much from her and her intake and her time in her prison records and the case records and stuff. Like, and the mental health was so relevant in her case because that was her defense. Like, I probably would have thought, because like, think about that interview she did with Dorothy, the videotaped interview. I would really want to see that.
But that's not that's different. That what she got was a report.
Yeah, same though, but.
Well, what we would have been watching was shown in court. The results, the report would include the questions, the answers, but it also includes her background. Anything that she filled out respective to anybody, including herself having mental health issues, all that would have been included in that report. That tape, the recorded evaluation where she's just questioning Letitia, is a different thing. That
I
that one
wouldn't
I
really
might,
see the difference though in the like morality of it. You know what I mean? It's still
because
putting
it
out her
includes
mental
other
health
people.
evaluations. Yeah, I guess I could see either side, but you know what? I'm so glad y'all came up because it was a good ass
Me too.
conversation going through so many different parts of this. So thank you guys for real.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
I
I'm trying to
enjoyed it.
remember this now. Just, oh yeah.
What?
Wait, what is it?
Her report, her competency report, like to see.
Mm-hmm.
It says there was one credible report that sealed court documents, competency. They were inadvertently published online for a brief period by the Idaho court system, but those documents were taken down and remain sealed. The incident occurred in May of 2021 when court records, including a competency evaluation information, were briefly uploaded before an emergency judicial order sealed them again. Local news outlets did not reproduce their exact content to avoid legal issues. The inadvertent publication was very brief and did not result in a widespread release of the reports. But I'm trying to see where it says that Hidden True Crime did Hidden.
Hey, Crusha's here. She said,
Crusha.
if we don't stop exposing her, she'll move on to next victims and reoffend. I think this community should do all we can to keep exposing. She burned her false kingdom down. We need to keep shining. Well, I hope that you will keep using your voice. I know you will. And I'm going to listen. You know, I'm here to listen. And, you know, I'll be paying attention to whatever else comes out. Because I don't think it's over, but I don't know. Like, I'm kind of in this like limbo place of what's going to happen next. Is there going to, yeah. So, but
The victims, Crusha, Kay, people who have been victimized by her.
Yes.
Especially from crime families, victims of crimes. They absolutely should be able to speak, be heard, discuss whatever they want to discuss, and feel free to know that people are going to support them for doing that. Where it changes is, are we just, picking apart her face and her husband, and why is she married to him? Because he looks like this and she looks like that, and this is weird. And, that's when it becomes like weird drama.
yes,
shit,
I agree with that.
rather than focusing, because this is strong enough on its own.
Yeah, it is.
Right. We don't, that was my point too, chasing, is that her actions are what matters, not what package the actions came in. I don't give a rat's fat kneecap about that. Although I will say, I did like the bag that she was carrying at CrimeCon. I did. I noticed it and I liked it.
Hey, Delana.
I was not, however, a fan of her chunklets. There, I said it.
I do have a fear though, like when I think anything that she's done that is terrible should be exposed. But my fear is like, I hope there's nothing else that's like going to be extremely hurtful to the victims and their families. Like, cause I'm kind of bracing for what's next, and
here's my thing. If people have those, they should get in touch with the person it pertains to.
That's what I say.
Then if that person, let's say it is Crusha, if Crusha then wants to discuss it on a channel, on her own channel or whatever, that's her business. But if we are getting this information or seeing it and then we're exploiting it, then we are re-victimizing victims.
Absolutely.
It's wrong.
That's true. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because we're using it for views.
Correct.
We're not doing it for the good of Crusha, the good
No.
of JJ, the good of Kay, the good of Tylee. We're doing it because we have the breaking news, and that's fucked up.
Yeah,
It
no.
is fucked up. I wouldn't do that. And
Hell
I'll just
no.
let you
It
girls
should go
both
straight
know,
to them.
if somebody sent me a text message where somebody else was talking shit about you, I would let you know privately. And
me
then
too.
I would let you know. And then whatever you do with that information is what you do with that information.
And
Right.
if
Y'all are
somebody
my,
put
I
it
could,
out without letting them know, like I would be pissed. I'd be raging for them but I know
Right.
people do that shit. But
But that is
so
a lot of how this community and others works. If somebody
Mhm.
comes across something, like for
that's true. Yeah.
example, I had the audio and the declarations and all the things, and I didn't put anything out. I had them for days before anybody saw them. I
Yeah.
never released them. I never even talked about them. I was like, I'm not fucking doing this. I don't know what could come from this or what might blow up or who I'm hurting or who I'm upsetting. I'm not going to do it. The minute it got sent to one of these channels, boom, 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 boom. That's all you heard. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
do we ever just stop to think for 2 seconds about who else we could be affecting and in what way we might be affecting them? No, we don't. We just go because just like her, she's doing what she does for views. That's why you create a channel. And I mean, I get that. I understand it, but sometimes you got to really think before you.
How's this going to affect the
Right.
people I'm talking about? So
Right.
Krisha says something interesting, which I knew this. She said, I found the timestamps for what she struck me on, and it's 18 minutes when I used her video of our personal photos. I did
Right.
appeal, but it's not the accidental screenshot, which I knew it wasn't. And it pissed me off people saying that because
Yeah,
it's
it
like,
did.
dude.
Can you
Like,
imagine? Like,
No, the audacity, where's Joneson? The audacity, the unmitigated gall. How you gonna strike me for pictures of my family?
the
mother,
18 minutes when her
Let me quote
mother was
chasing.
talking.
Fuck your mother.
your mother's a whore.
Your
But
mother's a whore.
Not Crusher's mother.
Not precious mother.
Not Crusher's mother.
No.
But people's mothers are whores in this because that's what I was saying earlier. Like,
Are you kidding me?
of them and them with their papa, I'll come snap on your mouth. What is wrong with you? See, I can't because then I get when I was sitting at the airport, I started thinking about it when I was live and I was getting ready to talk about it, but there were people around me that would have been like, lock her up, put her away somewhere.
Like mandated reporters. Get her.
Well, she says it's the 18 minutes when Kay was talking. That tells me it's all about silencing people. She don't want it to get out that Kay felt victimized and exploited. She
No.
don't want the text to get out. This is all what it's about. It's controlling the reputation, and it just makes me sick.
Retired just put in the chat that Annie Cushing put out a statement. What's her? I don't know. Is that recently or no? Oh, found it. Okay, I'll read it to you. Hold on, please.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna read it to you.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Annie's statement regarding. Well, let me make sure. Is this actually true? Original post for context. Thank you so much. Lauren had a 9-hour live last night. Does anybody have this information? Where does it say that it's Annie though? Oh, read something that's.
And this is how it's done, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm a little scared. I'm like, I'm not gonna read this.
You got to be very careful, and that's the thing. And here's my thing too. I'm okay. Here I created a YouTube channel because I wanted people to hear what and see what I had to say, right? So in essence, I want people to watch. There's nothing wrong with clicks and views. Let me tell you where it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem when everything you do is with clicks and views in mind.
Right. That's
So
true.
if you get a piece of information, instead of taking the wait and see approach and say, should I?
It's her.
You just put it out because you know that it will get clicks and views. That's where it comes in. I'm not going to be shamed or told that I'm a bad person because I put out content. If I didn't want people to look at it, I would just fucking tell Mac and Alice the cat. Okay? That's who I would sit around here and talk to.
I would watch these cases, I would watch these trials, and I'd be like, "Did you see that, Mac? Did you see the ridiculousness that just came out of this fool's mouth?" And then Alice would be like, "Shut up." So that's
Do you
what I
want
would
to
do.
hear any of this, Allie?
Yes.
You do.
Oh, I do. That's not Allie. I answered
You
for
know
Allie
who
because
any
I'm impulsive.
I would like to hear it. Yeah, if you want to read it, and if you think it's like I
Okay.
trust your judgment.
Yeah, I'll be careful. Annie is Tylee's aunt. Okay.
Okay.
The screenshot, I believe, is at the center of the melee. First of all, I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off. I was made quite aware a while ago that there was a message sent by one of the individuals embroiled in this controversy that was sent to their friends shortly after Tylee and JJ's remains were found. Included in the message was allegedly a comment about Tylee that was cruel and ignorant, especially given the timing. I have not seen the screenshot. I was only told what it said by somebody who did see it. Even if it's true, it didn't rock my world, but it merely confirmed that there was an undertow of indifference towards Tylee's suffering because someone didn't like her, as well as a reluctance to even view her as a victim. We will revisit this screenshot in a minute. My perspective on this war. When I saw some of the tensions bubbling up to the surface, I was concerned. I checked out one of the offending Instagram posts using a link that was sent to me, and it wasn't my cup of tea. I also explained to one person involved that PhD doesn't mean someone studied philosophy, so I was baffled to find out that big reveal made its way to production. More importantly, if past proved to be prologue, I was quite sure I was going to get pulled into this war. I didn't know how, but I've seen enough hysteria in this community to be able to predict it would happen. I also suspect some involved have taken cheap shots at me in hopes their cruel tactics will gain traction, as they always have in the past, so they can distract from the growing focus on whatever Lauren said about the victims. I personally don't care what she says. And what was my crime? Putting out facts of this story in a timeline format, citing all my sources, and providing receipts that others could use to draw their own conclusions. If that offends your sensibilities, you really should consider sticking to pre-digested crime stories where details about imperfect people and processes where love doesn't always win are typically made more palatable. I mean that with all due respect. I would never follow a criminal case in depth for this very reason. I've appealed to anyone who has moderated for AMH to not get involved in a community drama, because even though it's not fair to any of us or the least bit rational, people who want to believe I'm the spawn of Satan wield a cult leader level of control over my friends and allies, and am the puppeteer controlling whatever war breaks out in the community, will see them as mere extensions of me and use anything that they say or do against me. They don't need proof. They can just allege that they have this hunch that I'm behind all of this, and I'm sending out my own flying monkeys into the fray to do my bidding, like I'm some LVD clone who gets everyone else's hands dirty to insulate myself from accountability. Reality could not be further from the truth. Yes, I've had concerns about the MO of some true crime influencers, how they saddle up to victims and monetize proximity. I've heard some of the nasty details about how some get territorial, as if they somehow own the story and deserve a Pulitzer for parroting propaganda. I rolled my eyes at their photo shoots designed to flex their connections, knowing that serious journalists pop an eyebrow at the ethical quandaries that Front Row Seat presents. These same influencers think that if they muster up enough contrived rage at my reporting to my small audience, since I've never bought subs or interactions, their unsubstantiated claims will magically become true. I have stood by and will continue to stand by my presentations. She puts a link there. Timeline and case app. Links provided to offset the rumors that I was run out of town and am hiding. Yeah, pause. That was very strange that people were saying that she was run out because her whole website is up and all the things are up. But anyway, all right, hold on. I had to drink something. This is a lot of words here.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not ashamed of my contribution, and I didn't archive my channel because some queen bee didn't like, not the queen bee, because some queen bee didn't like my coverage or any other reasons that I've read. I hope to re-archive it in the future when I can get some much needed distance from this dumpster fire. If I do, I'll probably turn off comments so people can use it as if it's helpful while I enjoy my distance from the seedier side of this community. But seriously, the majority of people who follow true crime are wonderful and just want to hear the victims' stories. The miscreants typically amplify their drama with an army of sock puppet accounts. More on that at the end. Am I batting 1,000 and balancing truth with gentleness? No. Does my approach smack of neurodivergence? If you say so. But is my conscience clear that I've done everything in my power to stick to the facts and present them as dispassionately and kindly as possible? Yes. If I'm going to err, I hope it will always be on the side of transparency. Why I think I'm getting dragged through the mud. One thing I find disturbing in both Lauren's Marathon Live and Kay's allegations about me on Crush's Live Sunday is that it appears the one thing they agree on is I'm the enemy. I've heard since Lauren's Live that she flashed up an image of my title slide from my presentation about Kay, even though that has nothing to do with any of this. And Kay alleged that she shared pics of Joe and Tylee with me, and I used them without giving her credit. Seriously? What? It was a weird enough flex to lead with that allegation in a live where people were tuning in to hear Crush's thoughts about recent revelations that Lauren has admitted to saying unkind things about some of the victims, but it was also untrue. As soon as Kay made the allegation and I saw the inmates take over the asylum and chat, I turned off the live, prepared a screenshot of her and my messenger thread that documents all of our interactions since early 2020 and redacted the personal information, and then I went to bed. The only picture shared in that entire thread was from me to her. In my opinion, I suspect she was going for a big enough claim to hopefully rattle the cages of the unhinged without overstepping into defamation territory. More on that in a minute. When I woke up, I braced myself for a social media hit job. To my surprise, there was nothing. At least no one took up this mantle on any public-facing sites using my full name, which is what I monitor after seeing how just ignoring false claims hurt me professionally. Then I found out the video received a copyright strike midstream by Hidden True Crime and was immediately removed by YouTube. Contrived disaster averted. But it got me thinking. Clearly, both Kay and Lauren are worried about what the other side will do, as well as the keepers of whatever screenshots I suspect they both may be worried about. I personally believe the one screenshot I referenced is at the center of this whole war, as it would be hard to top it. Of course, I could be wrong. If this screenshot exists and it gets out, lives could be damaged even more than they already have been. Just to be clear, not my life. Let me also say, if it gets out, it will certainly not be by my hand or my urging. And if those who are involved are thinking I'd come out of retirement to throw a bunch of gas on a dumpster fire, relax. I don't want anything to do with any of these wars. Also, for what it's worth, I suspect all sides would be subjected to unwanted scrutiny, even the keepers of the alleged screenshots, because, if true, how was such a cruel statement not the point where you decided to part ways with this person? I honestly don't judge anyone involved. No one who has followed this case and developed relationships around it can stand by everything that they've said or written. But the true crime community absolutely would. I'm just saying, I suspect if it gets out, it will be a case study in mutually assured destruction, and it will add to nothing It will add nothing to this story other than confirming that those who don't study history are doomed to repeat it. I see big 7G energy in each one of these wars. I'm addressing the 800-pound elephant in the room to hopefully shine a glaring light on what I believe to be the underlying motives for both of these women to drag me into the mud with them. I really don't care what their motives are or were, or if any of them engaged in victim blaming Tylee. I think they all need to grow up and move on. You allegedly messed up. So what? It's all part of the human experience. You didn't like Tylee? Take a number. No one cares. Learn from your mistakes and stop trying to cover them up with all new ones. My genuine concern is that there are troubling signs that some of the people involved in this war are struggling under the weight of criticism, cruelty, and quite possibly a fear of what could come out, and that could result in the brinkmanship coming from all sides. I could be deep in conspiracy myself, but I personally suspect the whole anonymous release of the scandalous text messages between Summer and Adam, that, by the way, had all the earmarks of coming from a police report but weren't in the FOIA docs, was a warning shot by one of the parties to let the others know what exactly they are capable of if they are pushed. Summer is just collateral damage to get everyone back in line, in my opinion. My appeal is to please let cooler heads prevail. If you have a genuine concern that someone has wronged you that rises to the level of seeking remediation via criminal charges, a civil lawsuit, reporting someone to a regulatory board, filing a CPS report, etc., by all means, seek out the protection and remediation the law affords you. Stop taking foolish risks and seeking retaliation outside the bumpers of the law. I see people on all sides taking risks that could alter their lives if, God forbid, their contrived enemy or enemies lose their footing and succumb to the mental health battles. I'm not trying to spread hysteria. I just think people need to be a little less gullible in their assumptions that one side somehow has a corner on how to navigate a criminal case that has pushed many of us to the brink in many different ways. One final thing that I will caution you about is I think there's an assumption that using an anonymous sock puppet account will protect you from consequences of defamation, invasion of privacy, harassment. They don't. Although the courts have a strong inclination towards protecting privacy, if an account crosses the line into claims about a person that are prohibited by civil or criminal law, the victim can seek to have that account unmasked in pursuit of their remediation. I pulled together a list of cases, both civil and criminal, using AI where unmasking was done to hold offenders accountable. You can see it here. This is not a veiled threat. I document comments made about me that I believe cross the line because I have experienced negative ramifications of these campaigns to my business and professional reputation. Some of the outrageously false claims made about me throughout the course of this case, with a fan fave being that I profited off the death of children, have quite possibly done irreparable damage to my business. I am not inclined to take legal action. I just want to be left alone by all sides. But I do have a strategy to proactively protect my reputation and business from false claims like this. Opinions are protected. And if you don't sit at my Thanksgiving table, they're just not going to have much of a shelf life anyway, if I even make it to the end of your comment. But openly harassing others with false claims or any activity makes you vulnerable to legal action and can also result in irreparable damage to your own reputation, as well as your mental health and career opportunities. Stay safe, chill out, eat a vegetable, take a walk. Cancel it out with something indulgent, and unplug occasionally. Enjoy your life.
Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my God, that was a lot. Will you send that to me so I can read it too? So, because I know I didn't catch it all. I got to see things a couple times to really, digest it. But I just want to say, like, this is fucking sad. that any and all of these family members are being drugged back into the spotlight because and this trauma is very like it's directly associated with this situation because of what the channel was about and why everyone met in the first place. So it's bringing all this trauma back up for everyone. That is so fucked up. And not only that, I will not. I don't know what kind of issues that some of the family members might have with each other, but I will never like I respect all of them and don't want to be involved. And I don't think people should even at all get involved in that because they all are victims. And like I can just see like people starting to tear, like Chris just said, like my blood pressure's going up. People just automatically, when like choose sides and shit. When she was writing in the chat, I can't remember her exact words, but that's fucking sad. That shit is nobody's business. I personally wish she wouldn't even comment on that stuff just because it's going to be hurtful to everyone. Oh my God, that was so much.
Yeah, I mean, I've followed Annie's website, Analytics, for since the case began. I always found it fascinating because it was data driven. It was like a story timeline, just a way to really follow along in a different way rather than videos and stuff. I mean, I've watched listened to her videos, but I just found that to be a lot more interesting. But they have, all of them have every right to feel however it is that they feel. We can't, I don't like watching people judge the family, like people reading about Colby for what?
I don't like it either.
There's no reason. Stop doing the things that you're doing. It's just so.
Even if they were rude, if they fucked up, look what they're going through. Like, hello.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm just saying, even if they fuck up, like, even if they did something wrong, like, I don't think it's right to judge them for it because they're going through such a traumatic time. Like, they're not the criminal. Judge the fucking criminal.
That part's not our business, right? So Lauren, she's a forward-facing public figure, just like the rest of us. We're on here, we're limited public figures, whatever. I get it. Kresha's not, as far as the case goes. On her YouTube channel, absolutely. Yes, she is. Whatever she says, we can use to have a discussion about. But when you're talking about her, specifically in the case of JJ and Tylee and Chad and Lori and all, you should not be attacking her. Right? When it comes to the case, chill the fuck out. Stop bringing irrelevant, crazy things or family things. That's family.
Every family has issues. Every single family. There's dysfunction in every family. Who are we to judge?
Yeah,
it's not our business.
Kay if Annie wants to talk to Kay. If she doesn't and they never have another conversation ever in life, okay, then they won't. But when does that become? And people will choose, mark my words right now.
They will.
People will choose sides based on who they think people are more sympathetic to. And because Kay just spoke out, and I mean, my prediction, people will, once Krama finds out about this, if they read it or whatever, that's exactly what will happen. They'll go after her. And it's not right. It's not right.
Oh my gosh, Christian.
Of course not.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that she did that either. I didn't follow her. I don't follow her, so I didn't know.
No, I followed her and I never knew that. I've heard that from being on here the last week or so, but I've never heard it. Like Annie gave a victim impact statement and, I watched that, all of those things, but I never knew that. No.
Well, I do remember when some drama had happened, but I intentionally didn't get involved, or even I don't even know what happened. Like Jen said, all families have issues. And right now, when they've gone through all of this, I mean, look how many people they've lost. Fuck, Colby, look at Colby, but all of them, look how many people they've lost. Like, I just don't want to judge their decisions in any way. And I don't like fanning the flames of family drama. Of course, that's going to happen. Every family has it. Shit, y'all should see some of the things that have happened at my family Thanksgiving, some of the fights. Y'all should see
Oh my
brothers
God.
throw down. I've seen my brothers throw down, and my one brother laying on the porch just telling my other one, "You kick like a bitch." And he's just getting kicked over and over. Like,
My mom had 6 sisters. I wish y'all could have been at our Thanksgiving, especially if they got into the cups. Then it was really something to watch. Sometimes I just sit and watch it all. And maybe that's, whatever, but that's me watching it. I would not
wow.
want that streamed to my YouTube.
I'm wondering, she said something about neurodivergent. Is she autistic? Kershaw?
Tess,
Because if so, then all of this data and the way that she's seeing things might
right.
make a little bit
Makes
more sense in my head. I don't know.
That would make sense. But okay, so Tess said that she has said terrible things about all the other victims, and I know that Tess would definitely not just say that. So I did not know that. And then Kresha, so in Annie's statement, when she mentioned that Kay mentioned her or something, I guess I didn't hear that. Like, see what I mean? I got to hear things a couple times. I didn't realize that. I was there in the chat.
Work this out.
So, because I'm thinking, why are you even? I didn't hear her say that. Like that something about the pictures, something. I don't remember now. Going back, I need to read it though.
Precious said
something that she said about imagine her taking a creator taking these pictures and representing them as their own. I assumed she was speaking about Lauren. I did not know she was speaking about Annie. So
I think difficult research makes a good point. She says it just sucks because love could always win if we could work this out. Kresha, I'm going to tell you something, and you take it however for what it's worth. I would imagine it could be worked out, and I think that what would help a lot for it to be worked out. Maybe this is a blessing in disguise, as horrible as it is that these things have come out. That someone that your mom trusted spoke badly about you and her. Perhaps this could be the catalyst for you guys getting together and maybe comparing notes.
I wish, because you never know.
It could be
whose ear and who was doing what, and with all of these damn people, you just never know. I don't know.
It's true. I mean, because there are like even when there's drama on YouTube, there are people that will come into both sides who are beefing's chats just to stir it up. They exploit the drama, and inevitably what ends up happening is that one side blames the other. When the fact of the matter is there are people in this world who are actual agents of chaos and just like to stir it up to watch what happens. And I wonder if some of that hasn't happened here. But that's,
Looks like me, she archived her channel about 4 months ago, the one called A Murderous Heart. That's where she was taking some of the videos and putting them up. She's still.
I remember that channel.
Yeah, the timeline's there, but that's on her analytics. But
for me, I feel like, look, I want you to know, Krisha, that no matter what, like, I hope more people feel like this too. I think that they do. Whatever Annie says is not going to affect the way that I feel about supporting you guys and your voices. And you can feel Kay, you can tell all she did was love JJ. That woman, her and Larry were the voices for those kids. They were at, I mean, I'll never forget seeing them down next to Chad's fence when they found them, and they went all over for those kids. They were their heroes and they spoke out for them. And you know what? She spoke out for Tylee and for Joe too. And so, and I appreciate you guys doing that. And that's all, it's not going to change based on whatever drama, family drama. That's not going to change that.
No. Look, I'd be the last person to judge somebody for their family drama, okay? I'm going to leave it there because
Or just
all
believe
families
what
got
somebody
drama.
says.
Exactly. Like, I mean, I will continue to come over as I've been in Crush. I will support Crusha. I will share it out. What she's saying is not going to change how I feel about you, Crusha, or your mom. And I said, Allie's right. I hope, Kay is the type of grandmother that we all would want to have. She advocated for those children. She was going all over Hell's Half Acre demanding that somebody look into this, demanding to be, where are those children? And she
Yeah, and they're
wasn't
not young.
Exactly. And I just thought that's the kind of grandmother that I want to be. So,
Yeah.
that's how I feel.
I always looked at Larry. No, go ahead, Chasing.
I'm sorry. I have to hop off. My bearded dragon's eating weird stuff in his cage.
I need to end it anyways.
I gotta go over there and get him really quick.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming up.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, Chasing, and I'll try not to talk shit about you in the DMs no more.
Yeah, I always know I would watch Larry, speaking up for JJ and stuff and just think, my God, like because he's older and he's I don't remember if health issues I feel like something came up like that and just knowing that he's older and thinking like he's still traveling all over and I'm sure that's not easy on you. It's not easy to travel like that, but it didn't matter. It was all about, getting their names and faces out there.
Exactly.
And
and I think that's how was the beginning of probably how they got exploited to an extent, because they wanted more than anything is to have every eye in the world looking for those kids. And I think it unfortunately opens the door, which is sad because it shouldn't be like that. You would think that somebody like Kay and Larry going to a YouTuber or multiple YouTubers and saying, "Hey, my grandkids are missing. Can you help? Will you here's their story. I'll come on your panel. I'll explain the story. Will you show their picture? All the things," right? You'd think that would be, that there should be no worries about that. That a YouTuber would say, "Yes, of course." And, and then use it later for some type of personal gain. I just don't understand that. I don't understand that. I will say this. So the universe has an excellent way of balancing things out.
That's true.
So,
that is so true. And Jen always says that. Look, Shelly says, "Bye, Chasing," from your new fan.
Yay!
I love
Shelly,
that.
I meant to tell you, I put the video back up. I put the link on my community tab. I saw that you asked, and then I got distracted by talking shit. So I'm sorry.
I just want to say one more thing and I'm going to let you guys go. Picture this. The courthouse doors open. Lori Vallow has been just convicted and sentenced. And you see Larry walking out and holding his arms up like in the muscles and singing the "We Will Rock You." You know what I mean? Like these are the biggest moments of this, and that's what it's about. Yeah, and that was just so impactful to me personally. That moment is something that I'll probably never forget,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
because we were nervous for the jury deliberations, just because you never know how a jury is going to go. You never know what 12 people are going to do ever. And, I can't imagine what that would be like.
thought Jason was in the hospital because he reposted a memory of his hospital stay 3 years ago when he had 2 strokes on this day.
Aw.
He was gonna kick your ass. Oh, he saw the memory and he's like, "Oh my God, what happened?" Oh,
I mean, you know, it's
yeah,
Larry and Kate strike me as really just good Southern, down to earth, salt of the earth people. And it breaks my heart that they had to suffer a tragedy, and then that tragedy was exploited and they were hurt all over again while trying to process through their grief from the first tragedy. I can't.
no.
It's awful, and nobody deserves that. And Kresha, you do incredible work, and you don't give yourself enough credit. I don't always chat in the chat, but I'm like 90% of the time I am there. And I do listen, and you do incredible work. You connect dots that I never would have thought of, ever. Stick to it. You got a knack for this. Don't let this is my motto.
Yes.
This motherfucker ain't make you. Don't let this motherfucker break you.
Well, no, Krisha's like you, actually. You can tell, like, she's, I don't know. You guys just you get unsure of yourself or something when you're doing great already. You know what I mean? And you're like, 'cause she'll be like, I don't know what I'm doing. And it's like, dude, you're doing good. Stop.
Thank you.
You're doing
I'm very critical. Allie's always on me. Stop being so freaking critical of yourself.
Mm-hmm. Stop. But nah,
Maybe I just like to get ahead of it. I like to think of all the things that people could possibly say that are negative and try to avoid that. That's why it's I don't know where that comes from. Somewhere.
Shelly, I need to check my email anyways because Creative Mind sent me an email I was supposed to go check, and then I got busy. So after this live, I'll go check it. But I feel like I saw somebody mention that musical thing somewhere.
I saw, they mentioned it in my chat too, and I haven't had a chance. Sorry.
So what do you think will happen now? I'm going to let you go, but do you think this is going to die down?
No.
And do you think, I hope though for Kay and them that it does. I hope that they are able to just go. They need to live their lives, man. Like she said, 6 years of literally not living a life, just constantly not this, the case, constantly
Right.
the case, constantly, in the spotlight, and sometimes not even knowing how you can continue it and just like go doing it somehow. Like, and finally she's got to breathe and this happens. So I hope they can, but I don't think I don't know. I think that
No,
we'll see some
because
court cases more exposing all the things.
Yeah, what are you saying mentioned it.
Okay, Tess.
I think this is what I think. I think it's probably likely going to get worse, but I think it's going to get worse, not really for the victims' families like Kresha and Kay and Larry. I don't think, and Tylee and JJ, I don't think it's going to get worse in that way. I think that part is probably over. But I think that I
Go
think
ahead.
that
Sorry, didn't mean to distract you.
Lauren might I don't know. I just have this sense that people that Lauren has wronged in the past, there's something freeing about the first person that tells their story. And then it makes the next person feel a little safer to do it. And then the next person and the next person. And that's what I think is more likely to happen than,
But, I agree with you. And I get Chasing's point that that's just drama and separate from what's happened to the families. I totally agree.
Right.
But I also don't want to discourage those people from speaking out. Like,
No.
it's never a bad thing to share your experience and your voice. Just do it, it's just like what Crush's comment I was going to mention, people that will exploit these situations. Like she said, whether intentional or not, these things get spread and skewed and people's feelings get hurt. Then the pimps just tweak it from there, steadily twisting their knives. That is what bothers me so much too. That's why, like I said, I am not I will never fan the flames of something like that. And
No.
but people will. There are
Right.
assholes out there, and they totally will. And
Which is
I'm
why
so
Allie and I
sorry.
really didn't talk a lot about the Sebastian Rogers case because it
Yep.
became about the Proudfoots versus the Bowersox, or wait, no, the Rogers, the
Yep.
Bowersox and the and the Proudfoots versus the Rogers, and I thought and to me it seemed like in the beginning they were working together, and then there was clearly cracks in the in that relationship and between all of the parents. And what ended up happening is YouTube saw the crack and they made it bigger. And
Yep.
it is now, it might be to the point that it's irreparable, and I hate that for any family, because it's family's all you got, really.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. But you know what? You're right. They do see a crack and make it bigger. But that's why it's like, there's got to be a balance between people being able to, number one, all people being able to share their experiences, but especially, you know, in a true crime or true crime adjacent community, the victims and their families, those experiences, what matters the most, in my opinion, in the world, period, like in these tough situations. But
Right.
you get what I'm saying.
Right.
But where's the balance between that and then the people that will exploit these things, the people that will see like Annie's post and going, oh my God, let's look for this drama, let's look for that, oh, she did this on that day or whatever. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but a lot of times it does. Like, how do people safely share their experiences without, I guess it's just part of social media. It sucks, but I don't know
Anytime
the
human
answer.
beings are involved, shit's gonna get messed up. That's just how it goes. It's unfortunate. All you can do, Allie, really, is be, like I said last night, be the change you want to see. You can't change anybody else. You can't talk anybody else into changing. All you can do is control you and how you do things,
Yeah.
and, no matter what happens with any case, you don't think I mean, you guys know about the West Memphis Three. You know that I mean, I have had many, many, many opportunities to speak with family, but I don't do it. I don't.
Yeah.
I just don't, because it's a personal thing for me. And, I don't think, that's just how I feel. So all I can do on my channel is, you know, do what I do. And when I see other creators like Allie, like Amber, ATS News, like Crusha, like Melissa Jade, like Chasing, when I see other good creators, all I can do is send you guys there. That's it. That's all I can do. And I can be there when they go live to show them support, to give them encouragement, to tell them, you know what, I appreciate you. I like what you're doing. Keep it up. And
Right. There's
that's
really
all we
nothing.
can. That's all I can do. I can't, and I'm not going to lie. I've sat, Allie knows this, the whole last month, and I've just like kind of beat myself up because I would get frustrated with like just the way that stuff happens on YouTube, and then I don't know, I came back out of it and I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to keep doing what I do, and whatever happens, happens. It'll all work out in the end the way it's supposed to anyway. I don't really have
Yeah.
control over that part.
Well, it's just a part of the bigger conversation around all of this, which is social media and what it does to these true crime cases. You know what I mean? And how everything happens and revolves around it in that world, because Lauren also has to accept that if she's going to be on a platform that large, she's going to get criticism. And especially if she's a shitty person behaving like an asshole. Well, guess
Yeah.
what? You know what I mean? That if you don't like it, then get off social media. But Christina has a right, like the judge said, to voice, her opinion. That's just that. And
Right.
then but it feels different. Like, it makes me angry, and like I want to, and I do think that there could be potentially maybe some remedies to how victims of crime are like I don't know. I think that there could be remedies within guidelines of YouTube or laws. I just don't know the way to it, but I wish there was, because it's real frustrating to see those people be on the other side of the rumors and the bullshit that social media does.
Crusha, I'll message you. I know what you're asking. I'll tell you.
What screenshot she was talking about? I didn't share anything of hers, and my stream wasn't taken down. Yeah, people kept coming in my chat saying that. And because I fell asleep watching your live. When I woke up, it had and I took a screenshot. It said that it was like 2:30 in the morning, and it said that it was taken down from copyright. So then the next day, people kept saying, well, she accidentally showed this or that. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Even if you did, a copyright is not the remedy.
Correct.
So that couldn't matter anyways. Copyright is for using someone's work. You cannot copyright strike because they say something of yours that you think is private, because they harass you, because they talk bad about you, anything, any other reason besides they're using your work. But people just won't grasp that. And it's continued
Right. There's
on.
this is I think another part why I got frustrated with the whole situation in general. And this is kind of also I gotta say when she did what she did to you, Crusher, it made me decide to cover it. I wasn't going to cover it. Allie knows this, but I was already irritated by the situation, just the things that were going on in general. And then that was like the straw that broke the camel's back, because it's an example of once again, not using or misusing the process. Okay. The fact of the matter is, everybody who's a creator knows this. You get especially when you get monetized, when you become a YouTube partner, they give you a mountain of stuff to read. Okay. But it's not like complicated stuff to read. Okay. It's just, they tell you things. All right. Particularly about copyright. And they tell you about community guidelines, privacy guidelines, all the things. Okay. It's part of becoming, especially when you get monetized. So if my ass over here with my good enough diploma knows there's a difference between a copyright strike, a copyright claim, a privacy complaint, and a privacy strike, then certainly the well-educated should know the difference. And the remedy for
That's exactly what I said. Yeah.
Exactly. The remedy for a privacy for an unintentional showing of something, identifying information, is not a copyright claim. It is where she struck it. If I believe Crusha, she doesn't have a reason to lie. I believe that if she struck the comment at the 18-minute, wherever it was, when it was only Kay talking, and if it was the entire time that Kay was talking, then it couldn't have been about what she's claiming, because otherwise it would have been a very short time stamp. It would have been less than a second, which YouTube won't let you do that. So she would have had to give you like a 30-second. But if you scrubbed through that 30-second, you would have seen it. And that's not what she did.
No, it wasn't that at all.
I'm
and
sorry.
You can't tell me
off this soapbox. I don't know why this irritates me the way that I do know why it does. I just said why it did.
Well, it's just that they know what the copyright means. You can't convince me otherwise, and that's just that. But I am so tired, and this has went on so long, but it was a good conversation. Like, there were those different points I wanted to touch on. There was a lot in my notes I didn't touch on. That might be a good thing.
Sorry.
Because some of it was rage. No, some of it was not like the nicest. Because it's a very frustrating situation. But yeah, I appreciate the conversation, Jen, and Chasing, and Amber. And I sent Melissa the link, but she could join the chat, and I appreciate her too, and wish she could have joined us. But yeah, I'm tired as hell, so I better wrap it up.
Yeah,
Bendy, that was not my experience. Yes, Alex, I based my opinion on when they took it down, or
on what you shared. I appreciate that too.
Yeah. Oh, yes. That's what I was going to say. I almost mentioned it a minute ago, but I didn't. you know, there are things that I've sent to Kresha, and didn't put on my channel because it wouldn't have been the right thing. The right thing was, hey, this is probably something you would need to see, or you know what I mean, that because it's going around. And I won't say more than that. Somebody had sent me and mentioned, you know, maybe you should send to her, but yeah, and didn't put it on my channel. I wish that that's what people would do when we were talking about that earlier. Like, if
Yeah.
you see something, you take it to them. You don't use it like breaking news. Look what I've got. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
exploitation. That's fucked up. Do you actually care about their situation and their feelings or whatever? No, if you do that. So
That's a
anyway,
she struck it for almost 30 minutes. That's not a privacy complaint. I mean, that is not because she showed, you know,
hey, Steph.
I mean, that's what is that not 20 minutes? Yeah. 29 I mean, almost 20 minutes. Am I mathing correctly?
I can't find the comment because I'm
129
accidentally.
1 hour
I'm on
29 minutes to 1 hour 47 minutes. That's almost 20 minutes that she struck her
I
for.
got it.
Yeah, that's not a screenshot of something at all. Because I know exactly what I mean. I know what their claim is. I know that it was quick, and that's not no. That's 20 minutes. And if I remember correctly, because I watched that entire live, Kay talked for longer than that. But that is the part. Yeah, I mean, she did it intentionally. She struck it where she struck it for a reason. Period. The end. She knew that it would be taken down, and it would be taken down immediately. That's it. That's all. She's, you know, she knew what she was doing. It wasn't on an accident. That's it. You know,
Yep.
it wasn't like she didn't know any better. Oh, I didn't know that there was another avenue available. But I can't remember specifically what Kay was saying in that part because I was clapping I mean, I kept putting the clapping emoji. So who knows? Because now I can't remember, but I exactly what she was saying at the exact time mark at that exact timestamp. But I know what she was saying was impactful and it was powerful.
Yeah,
I want to say that it might have had something to do with when she gave her that advice. That's what I was thinking, but I don't know. I can't remember exactly.
She was extremely fair too, you know, in my opinion, but she gave
was
a lot of grace.
She did give a lot of grace. She could have went in.
Mm-hmm.
She could have, but she didn't.
All right. Well, I am going to let you guys go. Jen, it's 11:30. I know
I'm tired.
You get up early as hell. I'm sorry for keeping you so late.
No. It's only 10:30 my time. So.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for being here, and I appreciate your input. I always love it. Like it. I like doing lives by myself, but it's always so fun to do them with someone you can pick their brain and like have the conversations. I don't know. I enjoy that, so I love doing them with you. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that, and I love being up here. You know, I do.
And the Amber and Chasing too.
And Amber and Chasing. I always like to hear from those ladies.
Mm-hmm. So,
but the fact of the matter is, difficult research. Look, if it was the interview of your parents, right, that you're playing in the background, that's covered under fair use. You transformed it because all your
18 minutes.
I guarantee you that because I was there, I promise. Yes, I could see the pictures in the background. Obviously, I could see the video in the background, but I could also see your avatar and your mom's avatar, and everybody was paying attention to what your mom was saying. There were a few times when pictures were shown specifically of like JJ and Kay, and then JJ and Larry, and then just JJ with Charles and stuff like that. Yeah, people were remarking on it in the chat, but that is what fair use is. If you completely transformed that part of her video. That's it. That's all. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The fact that it's pictures of their family, are you
Right.
psycho?
It's so
Like,
fucking fucked up.
are you psycho? Literally, you don't own that, obviously. Come on.
Right.
It's a desperate attempt to control the narrative, to protect the
Correct.
reputation at all cost. At all costs, even filing a stalking injunction at all cost. So we've seen it before, though. I've seen people, we've seen people try to silence other people on here. Just this is different because of with the family members, but that's just ridiculous. Yeah. Never a
Man,
fan
Prussia,
of.
I'm sorry, babe. I am sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm sorry for all of this. And if there was some way in the world that I could make it better, I would try. But I promise you that moving forward, you've changed the way that you've impacted me. You and your family have changed the way I look at true crime and the way I cover true crime. And that's all I can
100% agree. And I am also sorry, but that 100% agree. You've impacted me as well. And this made me laugh when you were talking. Look, she said, and I didn't know mom was going to unburden on all three. I was like, okay, let it rip.
Kay was just like, listen, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this one time. But she gave a good church read, and I love a good church read. She didn't cuss. She could have dragged anybody and everybody for filth, but she didn't. She didn't. She took the high road, and I appreciated that. We could all take a lesson. You could have dragged people for filth too, Crusher, and you haven't. You've kept it real churchy. Real church ready. That's not a word. You've given a good church read. There you go. Oh, that was sweet of her.
Thank you, Krisha. Yeah, and just sending all the love and good vibes to you guys, to you and your mom, and thank you. That's really sweet. I appreciate that.
And if you need anything, reach out. And if you want to roast, if you want to just go in on some people, let's do a roast of Melanie Gibb and Melanie P. There's plenty of material there. We need a little levity around this joint.
Seriously, that would be really good, I think. I really do. You guys should do that.
We should. They get on my damn nerves.
Oh my gosh. Touches my heart. All right, you guys. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a good night. Bye.
Good night, you guys. Bye.